primarily the result of Mayor Emanuel increasing property taxes to shore up city pension funds for workers and public school teachers. In the northern Cook County suburbs, your taxes are going up too, about 3%, while the south suburbs will jump about 4.8%. Chicago police officer Robert Rialmo says he had no other choice but to shoot Quintonio LeGrier, testifying for a second day yesterday in the wrongful death lawsuit brought by the LeGrier family. The officer said he thought the 19-year-old college student was going to take off his head with a baseball bat. He even demonstrated how LeGrier was swinging the aluminum bat in front of the jury. A Chicago woman imprisoned in Indonesia for the 2014 killing of her mother has now given up claim to her mother's estate. The settlement agreement by Heather Mack was filed earlier this month in Cook County Circuit Court and remains confidential. However, new court records are clear Mack will not receive any property, benefit, or other interest. The beneficiary of the estate will be Mack's daughter Stella, who was born in prison in March of 2015. The girl was born shortly before the 22-year-old Mack and Tommy Schaefer were convicted in the killing of Mack's mother, Sheila Von Weiss Mack. Police are searching for a man accused of trying to lure a 16-year-old girl in Mount Prospect last week. Authorities say the teen was walking Friday morning when a man driving a gray four-door sedan pulled into a driveway in front of that girl and then told the girl to get in the car. The teen ignored him and continued on to her destination, where she told adults to call 911. A Chicago man has been sentenced to 55 years in prison for the murder of a clerk during the 2014 robbery of a convenience store. In sentencing, 24-year-old Stephen Russell, DuPage Chief Judge Daniel Guerin noted the man planned the robbery of the Food Mart in Bensonville and knew it wasn't going well when the victims simply wouldn't let him in the store. Former suburban high school teacher and coach has pleaded guilty to felony criminal sexual assault of a student at the school and sentenced to 8 years in prison. DuPage County State's Attorney's Office tells us that 28-year-old Gerald Wismiller of Downers Grove was sentenced Wednesday. Wismiller was arrested after an investigation revealed that he had engaged in sexual contact with the minor girl for 4 months in 2016 when he was a teacher and coach at Lake Park High School. Illinois confirming its first human case of West Nile. The Illinois Department of Public Health yesterday says a Chicago woman in her 60s first got sick in mid-May. Illinois saw 90 people get sick from West Nile last summer. 8 died. Officials from a northern Illinois village say they will appeal the granting of line-of-duty death benefits to the family of a veteran firefighter who died this year of cancer. The appeal by Buffalo Grove seeks to overturn the first-of-its-kind ruling in Illinois, which the pension board declared Kevin Halber's colon cancer was caused by his work as a firefighter. If upheld, Halber's widow would receive his annual salary of about $101,000 for the rest of his life. In a filing in Lake County Court, Buffalo Grove officials contend there's no clear evidence, research, or no research proving firefighting has a direct or indirect causal relationship with colon cancer. Well, it's not that school leaders in Illinois don't want to pay new teachers more. It's just simply they can't afford it. Illinois School Management Alliance sent Governor Rauner a letter this week asking him to veto a plan that would start new teachers at $40,000 a year. The alliance says the requirement would be yet another costly, unfunded mandate from the state of Illinois. Cubs blanked the Dodgers 4-0. Indians hammered the White Sox 12-0 in Cleveland. NBA draft tonight in Brooklyn. Bulls have the 7th and 27th pick overall in the first round. And Billy Connors, a longtime Yankees pitching coach and confidant of the late owner George Steinbrenner, is dead. He was 76. Connors spent 17 years in the bigs as a pitching coach. He worked for the Cubs from 1982 to 1986. He was with the Cubs when they won their National League East championship in 1984, the team's first postseason trip since winning the 1945 NL pennant. Billy Connors dead at the age of 76. The news, a service of Discover Student Loans, figuring out how to cover college costs. Discover Student Loans, one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates, zero fees. Plus, students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. 5:09, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
It's become a summer tradition. Rockin' for the Troops returns this summer on July 14th at Northwestern Medicine Field in Geneva, home of the Kane County Cougars. Don't miss this year's lineup featuring Seventh Heaven, Ayla Brown, Rocky Lynn, The Voices, and Ryan Weaver. Proceeds will benefit Operation Support Our Troops America. Get your tickets today at rockinforthetroops.org. That's rockinforthetroops.org.
The expensive mattress you're considering buying is a waste of money. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of HelixSleep.com, the only place to get a customized mattress starting at just $600. Just go to HelixSleep.com, fill out our 2-minute sleep survey, and we'll design a mattress made just for you with a 100-night sleep trial and financing as low as 0%. Go to helixsleep.com/talkradio right now and you'll get $125 towards your mattress order. That's helixsleep.com/talkradio.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology actively invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you, the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Message and data rates may apply. Please do not text and drive.
Ever wonder why Europeans seem to speak so many languages? Maybe it's because they use Babbel, the #1 selling language learning app in Europe. Babbel's award-winning technology gets you speaking right away, whether you're learning Spanish, French, or German. And best of all, you'll remember what you've learned.
I always thought I was bad at languages, but after using Babbel, I can tell you I was just taught the wrong way.
Using Babbel's 10 to 15-minute lessons, you can be speaking confidently in your new language within weeks.
I was amazed that I could start having real-life conversations right away. It was so fast. Now I'm speaking Spanish. Woohoo!
No wonder Babbel is the #1 selling language learning app in Europe. Try it for yourself and see why Babbel is the quick way to get conversational in a new language, like Spanish, French, or more. You can try Babbel for free. Download the app or text TEACH to 484848. Text TEACH to 484848 to try Babbel for free. That's TEACH to 484848.
5:12. Let's get an update on the roads this morning. Rain is on the way. Some heavy stuff as well in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Reporting downtown Chicago, westbound Grand Avenue is closed. State to Clark, a major overnight wreck. Dearborn is blocked as well. Illinois to Ohio. A fire blazing in Harvey, 159th and Fisk. Part of a commercial building has collapsed there. So a fire crew is going to be at the scene for some time. Barrington, road closure at Country Oaks County line. There's a fallen tree. Road work shifts on the Eden Spur at the toll plaza today. There will be a new lane configuration, so expect delays in that area. Inbound Bishop Ford, heavy Cottage Grove to the merge. Earlier road work has cleared. Veterans Memorial southbound before Maple, stall blocking the right lane. Traffic, service of LifeLock. No one wants to wake up to the news that they're the victim of identity theft or that malware is attacking their smartphone. That's why new LifeLock with Norton now includes protection for identity and devices. Join at LifeLock.com. Use promo code RISK to save an additional 10% off your first year. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Jim, thank you. The National Weather Service has just issued a flash flood watch for portions of north central Illinois and northeast Illinois. That includes Cook, DuPage, Grundy, Kane, Kendall, Lake, McHenry, and Will counties. We'll keep an eye on that as your official Chicagoland weather forecast comes from our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Flash flood watch in effect through tomorrow morning. Throughout the day and night, we'll have periods of rain, some of which will be heavy, along with a thunderstorm. Again, watch for flooding. High today, 68, low 59. Tomorrow, occasional rain and drizzle, high 65. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
65 at O'Hare, 63 along the lakefront. Our next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour radio show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So President Trump arguably capitulates to pressure on the family separation policy, signing an executive order yesterday that ostensibly ends the family separation policy, but does it just have us revert back to the Obama-era policy of catch and release? Here's President Trump explaining the EO.
Thank you very much. We're signing an executive order I consider to be a very important executive order. It's about keeping families together while at the same time being sure that we have a very powerful, very strong border, and border security will be equal, if not greater, than previously. So we're going to have strong, very strong borders, but we're going to keep the families together. I didn't like the sight or the feeling of families being separated. Is a problem that's gone on for many years, as you know, through many administrations, and we're working very hard on immigration. It's been just left out in the cold. People haven't dealt with it, and we are dealing with it. So step by step, just like we dealt with North Korea, we dealt with Iran, we dealt with an economy that was heading in the wrong direction, we dealt with a lot of different problems. This is one that has been gone on for many decades. So we're keeping families together, and this will solve that problem. At the same time, we are keeping a very powerful border, and it continues to be a zero tolerance. We have zero tolerance for people that enter our country illegally.
But does it? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. There is a reason that President Trump, in his address to the NFIB earlier this week, was asking Congress for a third option.
Well, and all along we've heard that the president has no power over this. It's Congress's responsibility.
Well, no.
Well, he exercised the power he claimed only a few days ago he didn't have.
Well, okay. So
but it was a personal rather than a political reason, because remember I told you Ivanka last night or 2 nights ago showed him pictures and said, Daddy, this has to stop.
Ivanka feels very strongly. My wife feels very strongly about it. I feel very strongly about it. I think anybody with a heart would feel very strongly about it. We don't like to see families separated.
So let's just establish some baselines here. Yes. Article 2 of the Constitution. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah. So the president, and this is a Supreme Court case law as well as congressional declarations that span 70 years. Congress or the president has supreme authority to exclude aliens from this country. The president's power with respect to immigration law is substantial. It borderline unlimited, which is why it's interesting the people that are celebrating this executive order are the same people who are saying the president didn't have the authority to institute the temporary travel ban that he instituted, which of course he did. But here's the problem with this executive order, and going back to the president asking for Congress for a third option a couple of days ago. In the executive order, it declares the Secretary of Homeland Security, quote, shall, to the extent permitted by law, maintain custody of alien families during the pendency of any criminal improper entry or immigration proceedings involving their members. So the extent permitted by law currently, as we've discussed here, because we actually talk about the law here rather than just emoting like you get on the cable news channels. Currently, the consent decree in the Flores decision, the Flores consent decree, defines the extent permitted by law. So the extent permitted by law is in the executive order. A consent decree in the Flores case, in force, defines what extent permitted by law is, and this is why the administration acknowledged that reality and is requiring Attorney General Sessions to seek modification of the Flores consent decree. So the administration will comply with the law until it's changed and the law is set by Flores. So now Trump is right back in the Obama box. He's right back in the same place, which is you either pursue the policy that had been pursued up until yesterday, or it's de facto catch and release.
But he said nothing. The zero tolerance policy is going to remain in place.
I'm happy that it's nice what he said. What he said and what the law is are not necessarily the same things. Politicians say all kinds of things that don't square with the black letter law, with the actual implementation or reality on the ground of public policy. So you can make pronouncements all day long. This is the governing the governing strictures on the matter.
Well, he acted a little victorious last night when he was in Duluth, Minnesota, talking about immigration.
So the Democrats want open borders. Let everybody come in. Let everybody pour in. We don't care. Let them come in from the Middle East. Let them come in from all over the place. We don't care. We're not going to let it happen. And by the way, today I signed an executive order. We're going to keep families together, but the border is going to be just as tough as it's been. Democrats don't care about the impact of uncontrolled migration on your communities, your schools, your hospitals, your jobs, or your safety. Democrats put illegal immigrants before they put American citizens. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, he properly identified the problem. I guess he's unintentionally correct. The border's going to be just as strong as it has been, which is to say not strong. He's back in the same place that previous administrations were in, with catch and release versus family separation and adjudication. And he caved. I mean, that's what this is. It's a cave. It's not a victory. Verlon on the South Side. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
I hate to be the one to tell you, Dan. I told you so. When I heard Ted Cruz, tough as nails, Ted Cruz, talk like Democrats. Oh, it's bad. It's inhuman. We got to fix it. And I heard mums the word from every other Republican. You didn't even hear anything from Steve King. Nobody said a word. And Donald Trump, like I said yesterday, was out on a limb by himself. I knew we were going to lose.
Well,
that's going to be my new catchphrase.
The Ted Cruz legislation was actually a fix.
Yeah, it was.
The Trump executive order is not a fix.
But guess what? They don't want his. You know what they got all over TV? They want visas for the DACA. So that means you're just gonna give in. You're gonna give all your talking points. You're gonna give all your leverage over. They want visas for the DACA workers. They want a pathway to citizenship for them. For the illegals that's already here, they want visas for them too. They want everything, and they're talking about passing it in the House right now. I'm telling you, Dan. If we don't get on the Democrats' level, if we don't play them at their own game, and when they go low, we get lower, kick them in the gonads, we're going to lose. This is all you're going to hear from me. My new catchphrase, we're going to lose, just like we lost yesterday.
All right. Thanks for the note of optimism, Verlon.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, what to do with all the children. A mom in Seattle, her son in New York, there's some in Michigan. We'll explain. But first, here's your forecast. A lot cooler today than we're used to, a high only in the upper 60s. It is in the low 60s right now. And we're going to have some heavy thunderstorms and watch for some flooding as well. Tonight, periods of rain, some heavy and a thunderstorm, a low of 59. And for Friday, occasional rain and drizzle, a high only in the mid-60s. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is the one and only Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Downtown Chicago, River North, westbound Grand Avenue remains shut down. State and Clark after a major wreck. Dearborn is closed as well between Grand and Ohio. Harvey got a multi-alarm fire blazing and building collapse at 159th and Fisk. And crews are going to be at that scene for some time. Barrington got a tree down, which closes Country Oaks and County Line. Seeing mild delays now on the inbound Stevenson from Cicero to Pulaski, to Ryan, Roosevelt to downtown, and Bishop Ford from Cottage Grove to the Merge. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection System Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. Long-form interviews in our Against the Current series, this week featuring the founder of Black Guns Matter, Maj Touré. Black Guns Matter, Maj Touré from North Philadelphia. You want to check that out, says Maj Touré, among other things. Free men and women own guns, slaves do not. Very interesting cat, Maj Touré. 60 Seconds of Sanity from yours truly. 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes, the Illinois Opportunity Project. Heart of the Matter, that's our series featuring professional women speaking collegially about the salient issues of the day. This week, also a discussion about self-protection and guns. And our Follow the Logic Man on the Street segments. Also, our sister site, defendhomeowners.com, free property tax report on your home, as well as updated home sales information in your neighborhood and in your community. See how property taxes are affecting home value. All the property tax and home sales information at defendhomeowners.com. Everything else at upstream-ideas.com.
Warren Buffett's mentor, Benjamin Graham, said, "The essence of investment management is the management of risk, not returns." Hi, this is Joe Lopresti, president of Arlington Capital Management. I'm here to explain how we help manage our clients' exposure to risk. We're the creators of our proprietary proactive asset allocation strategy, known as PAS. It is designed to analyze important market trends and alert us to potential changes in the market. But that's only part of what I believe makes Arlington Capital Management unique. It's the care and personalized service we provide our clients that really defines us. We understand how important your financial goals are to you and your family, and we never take that responsibility lightly. It all starts by understanding the things that are most important to you. It's part of the Arlington Capital Management difference. To experience it for yourself, schedule your complimentary consultation by calling 855-471-5796. That's 855-471-5796, or visit arlington-capital.com.
Your business is moving fast. It has to. Competition is stronger than ever. You've got a lot to deal with to keep your business moving forward. But there are some things you should delegate to others. It's the only way to concentrate on what you do best and for your business to thrive. What Turnkey IT does best is take care of every aspect of your computer and IT systems. When you go all in, they become a partner in your business's success. Your staff doesn't have time or the resources to keep up on the latest computer and software upgrades, potential threats, or know when it's time to upgrade equipment. That's what Turnkey IT's all-in small business package is for. You get world-class help desk, on-site and remote support, monitoring of network resources, 365 hosting, cloud backup, antivirus, and more. Plus, new hardware every 4 years. Whether your business is 1 person or 200, keep it moving in the fast lane. Go all in with Turnkey IT by your side.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today.
Dad, what are you doing?
Cramming for college.
I'm the one going to college.
Yeah, but we need to figure out how we're going to pay for it all.
Discover Student Loans.
Discover does student loans?
Yeah, they're one of the top student loan lenders in the country. It takes 15 minutes or less to apply, and there are no fees for the life of the loan. Best of all, I can earn cash rewards if I get good grades.
Really?
Yeah, we still have time to apply and get a great rate.
So I can just chill. College kids still say that, right?
No one says that, Dad.
Really?
Yeah.
Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply.
Caring for your parents. Learning you have a health condition. These are moments when people realize that where you get your medicine matters. And they look to CVS Pharmacy for advice and ways to save money. Plus, you can earn up to $50 extra rewards each year just for filling prescriptions. So join us at CVS Pharmacy. Terms and conditions apply. Not valid on all prescriptions, including those purchased in Arkansas, New Jersey, or New York. Other state restrictions apply. See cvs.com/pharmacy rewards or the pharmacy for details.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy and Little League World Series time.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, there's a lot of sacrifices that parents make.
What, when they fraudulently drive to other towns to have their kids part of teams that they don't belong to? Remember Jackie Robinson?
I do.
Or is it too soon?
I do. No, I'm not talking about that. Well, I guess that's sacrifice of a sort. But no, I'm talking about real sacrifice, even just to get to the Little League World Series.
Oh, it's a big deal.
But I don't know that sacrifice has ever been defined as profoundly as by this gentleman.
Not dampen the spirits for the fans of this morning's College World Series game.
The sacrifices that we personally made to be here are incredible. My wife's boyfriend sold his prosthetic leg on Craigslist to afford me the opportunity to be here. But they get alone time, and I get a chance to be in Omaha.
I mean, that's that's the kind of thing you do when you want to make it to the World Series. You have
the
your
College
wife's
World Series.
No, the Little League World Series in Omaha.
No, it's. Didn't he just
Isn't
say
it?
no? It's the
No,
College
it's the
World
College
Series.
World
Oh, it's the
Series.
College
Little
World
League
Series.
World Series is in.
Well, they're Little
League.
That's
Leaguers.
in Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Oh, well, they're Little
Wait,
Leaguers
can
too.
you please play
The College World Series then.
Yeah.
But the important thing is the sacrifice and people coming together to have your wife's boyfriend sell his prosthetic leg on Craigslist so that Dad could be there as well. They get alone time. He gets to see his kid play in the Little League / College World Series.
What was the broadcaster's reaction to that answer?
What
was she like? Okay, thank you.
It was actually a reporter who put the package together and.
Oh, then
so
you're
it's
more
a-
straight face because you have time to process it.
Interesting. It's an interesting call that she made to include that bite.
That's awesome because that's reality. That's the world that he lives in, and the sacrifices that his ex-wife made with her boyfriend's fake leg. I mean, nothing says I love baseball more than that.
Or he has a good sense of humor. That's also a possibility.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Speaking of scandal, hearings in Chicago on the Chicago Public School sex abuse scandal yesterday. We'll have it at 5:38.
But first, let's go straight into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Flash flood watch is up for portions of north central Illinois and northeast Illinois. That includes, of course, Cook, DuPage, Grundy, Kane, Kendall, Lake, McHenry, and Will counties through Friday morning. President Trump is highlighting the issue of illegal immigration to call for the election of more Republicans to Congress.
If you want to create a humane, lawful system of immigration, then you need to retire the Democrats and elect Republicans to finally secure our borders.
During a rally in Duluth, the president said Democrats simply want open borders and put the welfare of illegal immigrants ahead of American citizens. More than 140 now face deportation after a massive immigration raid at a meat processing plant in Ohio. Federal immigration authorities say they arrested dozens of Guatemalan nationals who used phony IDs to get jobs at the packing plant. Tuesday's raid came after a year-long investigation. Organizers say hundreds of protesters demonstrated in East Pittsburgh over the deadly shooting of an unarmed black teen this week. Protests came after 17-year-old Antoine Rose was shot by an officer while running from a traffic stop. Big news in Washington, D.C., and it doesn't have to do with immigration. The Department of Labor and Education could soon be merged. Trump administration is going to try and recommend combining the two departments later today. Congress would need to put its stamp of approval on anything before it becomes official. A woman is dead. 3 others are hurt after a reported stolen vehicle sped away from police and crashed into a taxi on Chicago's near North Side overnight. Police say officers were trying to pull over a white Jeep Grand Cherokee when the driver took off and then slammed into the cab near Dearborn and Grand. You've heard Jim Talamonte talk about that this morning. 3 in the Jeep have been taken into custody. Chicago teen who shot and killed 14-year-old India Martin on the South Side in 2014 could be released from juvenile custody next year. A judge ordered the teen yesterday held until her 21st birthday after she pleaded guilty to murder and attempted murder in January. Illinois confirming its first human case of West Nile. The Department of Public Health yesterday saying a Chicago woman in her 60s was first sickened in mid-May. Last year's first human case was not confirmed until July 20th. And a woman in Philadelphia has quite a black eye and some other injuries as well, too. She's a Philadelphia Phillies fan, and you know they're tough, and you know what they do in the stands in Philadelphia. She's on the mend, though, after getting that black eye from a hot dog. Kathy McVeigh was allegedly injured by the flying meat during Monday's game. The Philly Fanatic mascot fired wieners into the stands, hot dogs, with an actual hot dog cannon. Phillies have since apologized and offered her free tickets to a future game. John Lester fired 7 shutout innings. His Cubs blanked the Dodgers 4-0 at Wrigley Field. Kyle Schwarber homered for the second straight game. Indians clobbered the White Sox 12-0 in Cleveland. NBA draft tonight. Bulls with the 7th and 22nd overall pick in the first round for now. The news service of LifeLock. No one wants to wake up to the news that they're the victim of identity theft or that malware is attacking their smartphone. That's why new LifeLock with Norton now includes protection for your identity and devices. Join at LifeLock.com. Use promo code RISK to save an additional 10% off your first year. 5:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher believes Trump just got reelected.
On behalf of Chairman Kim and myself, we're both very honored to sign the document. Thank you.
President just got reelected. The President of the United States just took a huge step towards guaranteeing his 2020 reelection with this historic, epic, unprecedented, unheard of summit.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
Nowadays, there's an app for everything, and here's one that's a must-have if you golf. It's the Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app, and it'll enhance your golf experience. You can book tee times at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There's an interactive scorecard, golf games, a GPS, latest news from the club, even a food and beverage menu, Facebook sharing, and more. Just about everything you need for your golf game besides the clubs is in the palm of your hand with the new Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app. Go to BolingbrookGolfClub.com/contact/download our app. BolingbrookGolfClub.com/contact/download our app. And download today.
Are you ready to take your golf game to the elite level? The Bolingbrook Elite Athlete Training Program, or BEAT, is the highest level of training designed to maximize potential and develop highly skilled players. You'll learn from the Bolingbrook Golf Club's world-class instructors. They've designed practice schedules and content to maximize player development. For the athlete that aspires to compete and train at the highest levels, check out BEAT, Bolingbrook Elite Athlete Training. More info at BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
5:37 and a check of the morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Downtown Chicago, the intersection of Grand and Dearborn has just reopened after that major wreck chatted earlier, and both Grand and Dearborn are now open again. Barrington Hills eastbound county line remains closed. Country Oaks, Bateman to a fallen tree. The westbound side has reopened. The Edens looks good right now. The Kennedy as well. Eisenhower getting a little congestion now east of Manheim. Found Stevens and delays start at Cass. 40 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. On Ryan, 17 minutes, 95 to downtown. Bishop Ford, 17 minutes, 80-94 to the merge. The other expressways and tollways are good. Flight boards show few delays at the airports now. We'll see how things look later when rain comes. Traffic service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs. Discover Student Loans, one of the top private student loan lenders in the country. Great rates, zero fees. Students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Cooler a day ahead. Some heavy rain showers, maybe a thunderstorm. Watch out for that flash flooding. And a high near 68. Currently 65. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. Same question.
Are the Republicans going to cave on amnesty? We'll talk about it when Freedom returns at 5.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I want to get to the hearings on the CPS sex abuse scandal yesterday, but quickly we'll take Bill and Glen Ellen. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
I think the solution to the problem is just a change of definitions. As long as they are not holding the children aren't in U.S. custody, so they don't have to release the parents. They just have to essentially put the children with the parents, but without the definition of holding them in custody. It's the choice of the parents to keep the children with them. Then, essentially, they're just, on welfare or in foster care with the parents who are just being detained. I mean, it's a thin. I mean, it's a thin thing, but it's still, as long as the children are not technically in custody, there's no problem with the law. I mean, the kids can leave. They just choose to stay with the parents who are in custody.
Yeah.
But the problem is they're going to have to build more facilities to
well,
house
they were going to have
families.
to do that anyway.
Well, that
they were
tent
going to have
city.
to do that anyway.
Listen to this. I found out that tent city in Tucson that they built, $775 a night per child.
Well,
so
yeah,
they could have been
okay.
better off, renting out a box, a closed big box store and setting up a shelter in there. So,
Well, but, I mean, Bill, it's an interesting thought. I get what you're trying to do, but I mean, when you're being held against your will, that is by definition a custodial matter, and yeah.
And guys,
I mean, it's a workaround until
I appreciate it. Thanks for the call, Bill. It's a workaround. Here's a better workaround.
Don't come here?
Well, yes, but I mean, in terms of people understanding people are going to make the effort to come, particularly under our confused immigration system, move to fix the way that we do immigration in this country, both in the executive, both at the legislative level and in consultation with the executive.
Well,
there's a thought.
2 bills that they can pass today in Congress. The moderate bill gives $25 billion for President Trump's border wall. That's also very important to him. So maybe they'll pass that. But if it gets through Congress, who knows if it'll get through the Senate.
All right, we'll revisit that topic. Yesterday, Illinois lawmakers held a hearing about the sexual abuse scandals that have the sexual abuse scandal and all of the sexual abuse cases that have come to light thanks to an expose by the Chicago Tribune a couple of weeks ago. I'm still stunned.
Me too.
At how little reporting there is on this, how little attention is being paid to this.
Nothing. And they even found a victim who was brave enough to come forward. She goes to Walter Payton Prep, told her story, let them even use her face and her name, and still nothing. Nobody bit.
There was
it's disgusting.
This is a state legislative panel. A couple of victims were present to testify.
I'm here because of what CPS subjected me to in the months following. I'm here to shed light on the re-traumatizing, intimidating interrogations.
That's what Morgan Aranda, that now 22-year-old from Walter Payton Prep you were talking about, who was
assaulted by a teacher who was at Lincoln Elementary first, assaulted somebody there, and then got a job at Walter Payton Prep.
Okay, we have more.
I was pulled from class to sit alone in a room with an old man who asked not how I felt or what they could do to make me feel safe in my own school again, but what I was wearing when I had been assaulted.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they did not. Oh, my God. Well, so it's her fault.
I felt like I was the one under investigation. I am not the person I was before the assault. And I will never be the same as a result of what has been done to me.
Tamara Reed also testified. She was treated the same way by school officials when she reported being sexually assaulted by a substitute teacher at Robert Black Elementary School. She was asked what she was wearing and whether she came on to him.
Oh, my. What was that Jodie Foster movie where they blamed her because you're wearing a short skirt and you shouldn't have been wearing that?
Yeah.
Are they making it? That's how they handled this problem? This makes me want to yank my kids out of CPS.
The CEO, Janice Jackson, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty, she announced yesterday the city's investigative clearinghouse for child abuse cases will work with CPS to improve staffers' responds to allegations of sexual misconduct against students, and help connect victims with mental health services. Oh, and also Ed Burke.
Oh, is he getting involved?
He set up a hotline in his ward for anybody who wants to come forward with allegations of sexual misconduct in CPS. So, I mean, between Ed Burke's hotline and the city's investigative clearinghouse for child abuse cases coming together with CPS, I mean, I think this is pretty much wrapped up.
Well, they did email blast out a letter to parents that I received about their plan of action, what they're going to do moving forward. They have this Maggie Hickey, Assistant U.S. Attorney and Illinois Executive Inspector General. She's going to conduct the top-to-bottom review, but also how they're going to handle, before school begins, because it is only 2 months away, they're going to do more background checks on employees, coaches, volunteers, and vendors.
Yeah, $2 million they're going to spend, so thousands of adults who work in the schools now go through fresh background checks, since one of the things the expose found was that you had people in the schools who previously had arrests and convictions for crimes, including crimes related to sexual abuse of children. 45,000 employees will undergo the new checks. Well, it's a big system. Roughly 13,000 employees do not currently have their fingerprints on file, and an estimated 10,000 vendors and volunteers will need to be fingerprinted over the summer as well. Good thing CPS is flush with cash. Chip in St. Charles, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Nobody's interested in talking about this because in this state, teachers are deities. Teachers are above everybody. Teachers are above politicians. Teachers are above lawyers. Teachers are above accountants. Teachers are above everybody. You don't say anything bad about teachers. They can murder people like on Main Street and walk away from it, and nobody will say anything because they're a teacher.
I don't think they have that
crazy.
Much power.
That's
but
thanks for the call, Chip. Then how do you explain the lack of interest in this?
Because it's an election year, and Rahm Emanuel does not want this on his plate.
I'm talking about the public.
The public? Oh.
Like the 350,000 families that have a kid in CPS. Or, the 350,000 kids and their families in CPS.
I've read personally as much as I could read on it, but there's nothing in the mainstream media. They are ignoring this story. It is similar to the the Catholic Church sex scandal. It's the same exact thing, just moving people around. And then when they know they're going to get caught, the teachers, quit their job and move to a different state. And oh my gosh, lo and behold, they get a job there.
Well, there was some of that. I'm still not sure I get why there is not public interest in this. There is some coverage of this. The Tribune covered the hearing yesterday. ABC7 covered the hearing yesterday, just for two outlets. So where are the protests outside of CPS schools, outside the CPS administration building? Where are the calls for the resignations of those in charge of the school system? I don't hear anything.
Or the resignation of the mayor.
I haven't seen that. Where is it? Where's the rally? Where's CTU Teachers Union organizing a rally for those 30,000 teachers for the kids, like they rally when it's time to strike for their
own benefit,
wages and pensions? I don't see it. I'm confused. Because I understand from the politicians and the teachers union, everything they do is in the interest of the kids, the administrators, the principals. Every single person, just like every single politician in this state is a fiscal conservative, every single person in Chicago in elective office and in the Chicago public school system is in it for the kids, just to do whatever they can to advance the interests of the kids selflessly, sacrificing themselves for the kids. That's what we're told. That's what's amplified by the Chicago Press Corps, the big government press corps in Chicago. So where are they now when you have testimony from victims like you just heard? Where are they for Morgan Aranda? Where are they for Tamara Reed? I don't understand. We get whipped into a frenzy about all kinds of things. Protests. subsuming Daily Plaza. Where is everybody?
School's out. I don't know.
They're
there.
Marty in Naperville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, guys. Great show as usual. Listen, we're all so numb to this stuff. You look at somebody wrong that's called sexual assault or sexual. I'm not making light of it, but this is the problem. Everybody's so numb to this stuff: racism, Nazism, sexual. I was listening to another radio station. I'm not mentioning names, obviously. Two women on there, and they're good at what they do. But all of a sudden they're talking, and all of a sudden they're talking about how sexy this coach from this one soccer team. He's such eye candy, and it's a double standard kind of thing. That let them say what they want, but then the next sentence, some guy calls in and talks about cheerleaders. And how can you stare at a cheerleader like that? We're just numb to it, guys, and so is everybody else. That's why there's no big public outcry on this. So, thank you.
Thanks for the call, Marty.
I don't see there being a fatigue factor when it comes to this. I mean, first of all, I was shocked when I heard about it. And then I get all these emails every day like, here's where you can go to find local resources if you think your son or daughter is being groomed by a teacher. I did not know that this was happening. And there's 231 alleged victims.
Where's Chance the Rapper?
Oh, yeah, Chance. With all his millions of dollars, let it rain, baby. He could come up and help do something.
Yeah.
Where's Jennifer Hudson?
All the civic leaders. I mean, where's the Me Too? Where's the Me Too movement?
Where's Father Flager?
The Me Too movement. I mean, to Marty's point, an off-color joke and it could be a career ender. What about rape in a school? You've had some cases here where you've already had teachers prosecuted and convicted.
312-642-5600 is our Turnkey Debt Pro answer line.
Mike in Plainfield.
Yeah, I'm wondering when Stormy Daniels' lawyer is going to pick up this kid's case for free. I think this hypocrisy is kind of as old as Cain and Abel. These people, why are there 250,000 people protesting down there and picking up the phones? Probably because half of them are just as immoral. And that's the sad thing about our cities today. It's a stinkhole. And you know what we're going to keep doing? We're going to keep voting for politicians and people who mandate we send our tax dollars to the school systems, and they're going to get every dime no matter what happens. That's part of the problem.
Thanks for the call, Mike. Well, that's right. You hate kids if you don't sign blank checks to CPS. But if you're in CPS and you abuse kids, Ziff in Hyde Park.
Good morning, my brother and my sister. How are you all doing this morning?
Good, Ziff. How are you?
I'm disappointed. I went down there yesterday. I'm very disappointed. Even when I was in school in CPS 40 years ago, we had the same problem. We just everybody kept quiet.
Mm-hmm.
The coaches with the little girls, the music teacher that would bring us over his crib. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I ain't going to lie to y'all, because I had to deal with that. When the music teacher brought us over his crib and got on top of my chest and ejaculated, I still remember that, and that's been powerful. That has been hurtful, and I didn't want to talk about it, but I figured this is a moment to talk about it. I'm not going to say his name because he's deceased now, but Ron's not going to get away with this. I'm going to those CPS hearings. I'm going to shout. I'm going to tell them that we need to do something about this system. Ron Emanuel has to put this at his doorstep, and I'm going to raise the bullhorns, and I'm going to raise it. Somebody has got to stand up for those kids.
Right. I'm sorry, Ziff, that happened to you. And maybe you can help make a change by telling your story. So, again,
I intend to follow this story all the way.
All right, good. Thanks for the call, Ziff. Appreciate it.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Hey guys, Ken here from the Business Accelerator podcast, Today's Growth. If you had to choose a vehicle to take you up the rocky side of a mountain, would you choose a Ferrari or a Jeep? The Ferrari's faster, cooler, maybe even sexier, but if you have to get to the top, the Jeep's a better bet. I think we can agree getting to the top is not about the driver, it's the vehicle. Have you noticed people often pick their financial vehicle like they pick their cars? Washington Post shared that only 1 out of 4 people choose a job that uses their college degree. Why? Simple. Something more immediate, maybe cooler, maybe even sexier came along first. Shouldn't the main deciding factors for revenue generation be production or output? Should the cool factor have any weight in choosing someone's income? If getting to the top of the financial mountain is mission critical for you, why not add a few Jeeps to your garage? Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that makes it to the top every time? If so, you have to see the Jeeps lined up at IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly. I was reading an article the other day that the average American homeowner has over $16,000 in high interest rate credit card debt. Every morning you wake up and you work so hard to get ahead, but by the end of the month, you're just barely getting by. Then when things pop up like new tires, medical bills, school supplies, a laptop, it ends up on the credit cards. Well, the good news is if you're a homeowner, there's never been a better time to do a cash out refinance. Your home is going up in value quicker than it has over the last 10 years. And mortgage rates are still near these all-time low levels. Cash out loans are some of our favorites. Honestly, they really are, because those are the ones that make the greatest impact in a person's financial situation. Those are the loans where we're saving people $500, $1,000, even $2,000 a month. If you do have some credit cards, write them down. Get an idea of how high the balances are, how high the interest rates are, and then apply for a cash out refinance today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee.
That's Dot. She's here to greet me after a long day. She's the only one who wants to be near me when I'm sick. She's my best friend. Thanks to folks like South Suburban Humane Society, Dot went from living on the street to a dog that wears clothes. Yep, I'm that guy. So how did I get so lucky? Before I met Dot, I spent time at South Suburban. Giving to a nonprofit isn't always about giving money or donating food and supplies, although that's appreciated too. South Suburban Pets just want your love. We encourage you to come by the facility, take a dog for a walk, play with Dot's cat friends, or even foster a pet to keep your flexibility. If you're interested in how you can volunteer or donate, visit them at southsuburbanhumane.org. That's right, Dot. South Suburban is a 501c3, which means all donations are tax deductible for individuals and businesses. Text DONATE to 708-866-0065 or visit southsuburbanhumane.org. South Suburban Humane Society, creating a better world for pets and their people.
Wildfires, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, a crashing economy. Are you ready? At best, your local stores have a 3-day supply of food. Will your family have to fight over what's left? Be wise and be ready with 25-year shelf life Wise Food Storage. Try it free. Order a no-obligation free sample meal, and for a limited time, get a 10% discount and free shipping on all orders. Call for your free sample now. 800-787-1010. 800-787-1010.
5:57, kind of spring-like for the first day of summer. Let's check the roads and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. We're seeing delays on the northbound tri-state from the Reagan Tollway to Irving Park. Overnight road, we're just cleared out of the right lane, but pretty heavy in that area. Eden's is still okay. The Kennedy, 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 21. The Eisenhower, 35 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 30. Stevenson, 44 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 5-minute delay, 111th to Merge. Traffic Service of LifeLock. No one wants to wake up to the news that they're the victim of identity theft. That malware is attacking their smartphone. That's why new LifeLock with Norton now includes protection for your identity and devices. Join at lifelock.com. Use promo code RISK to save an additional 10% off your first year. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Flash flood watch in effect through tomorrow morning. Cooler day with rain, some heavy, and a thunderstorm. Again, watch for flooding, high 68. Tonight, periods of rain, some heavy with a thunderstorm. Watch for flooding with a low of 59. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 65. The news, a service of Discover Student Loans. One of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates and zero fees. You're discovering how to cover college costs with Discover Student Loans. Plus, students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. 5:59 on AM 560, and here are the stories that we're following this morning. The father of a teen shooting victim left unattended by Chicago paramedics earlier this week is demanding answers. One woman is dead, 3 others hurt after a reported stolen vehicle sped away from police and crashed into a taxi on Chicago's near North Side. Chicago homeowners will be paying another high property tax bill again this year. North and South Cook County suburbs also seeing rates for property taxes go up. Former suburban high school teacher and coach is pleading guilty to felony criminal sexual assault of a student at Lake Park High School in Roselle. Cubs blanked the Dodgers, while the White Sox fell to Cleveland 12-0. The NBA draft tonight, the Bulls have the number 7 pick overall. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
Rallying his base. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. A Build That Wall chant for President Trump last night in Duluth, Minnesota.
The wall has been started.
Hours after his executive order aimed at cooling off the controversy over his zero-tolerance illegal immigration policy, Fox's John Deckers live at the White House.
After days of protests from both Democrats and Republicans, President Trump reversed the DHS policy of separating migrant families at the U.S.-Mexico border. The president addressed the issue briefly at a campaign rally in Minnesota.
Democrats don't care about the impact of uncontrolled migration on your communities.
Under the executive order, the president directed Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen to maintain custody of detained families during criminal proceedings and as their asylum claims are adjudicated. But it's not immediately clear whether or when detained children will be reunited with their parents. Dave?
And John, critics say the order will still keep kids detained, still prosecute parents for coming here illegally.
He uses what amounts to government-sponsored child abuse as political leverage, a bargaining chip, in his effort to force through an extremist immigration agenda.
Democratic Congressman Gerald Nadler. House Republicans will vote on 2 bills today. One's considered a compromise. Kevin Brady backs.
It shuts the back door of illegal immigration, starts to fix the front door of legal immigration, which needs it, keeps the families together, and finds a path to legal status for dreamers who earn it.
Though a conservative version does not allow citizenship for those brought here illegally as kids. The president also last night again called his meeting with Kim Jong-un great, saying he's returning American remains from the Korean War.
In fact, today already 200 have been sent back.
He also touted the total denuclearization of North Korea, though Democrats are wary, saying there's no process for verification. Fox News, fair and balanced.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
Tasty Catering is bringing outdoor happiness to you and your coworkers this picnic season.
Down-home barbecue, street tacos, sausages and sandwiches, steaks, chops, fish, Greek feasts, pig roasts. The list goes on.
Tasty Catering picnic foods are more deliciously sophisticated than ever. With so many great options, everyone will be happy.
Organic, gluten-free, vegetarian, vegan, and dairy-free options never tasted so picnicky.
And your picnic doesn't stop with amazing freshly grilled food. Entertainment, rentals, decor, venue selection. Get everything you need with one single call to Tasty Catering.
Inflatables and crafts for the kids, games and athletics for the teenagers, beverage packages and entertainment options for the adults. There's so much to choose from.
The best company picnics start at TastyCatering.com. View picnic menus, entertainment options, picnic spots, and more. Visit TastyCatering.com. TastyCatering.com.
Hi, I'm Dan Eldridge, owner of Max & Shooter Supplies and Indoor Range in Des Plaines, and president of Federal Firearms Licensees of Illinois. 2018 has been a very active session in Springfield on anti-gun legislation, and I'd like to thank all the industry groups and Illinois gun owners whose pressure helped keep some of the worst anti-gun legislation bottled up. In particular, Springfield Armory has, after a troubling start to 2017, stepped up hugely for Illinois gun owners. They replaced their previous lobbyist and staged a team of 5 pros to advocate for your gun rights in the Illinois General Assembly. They were early and reliable supporters of the Illinois Dealer Lobby Group and have done excellent work this session. Please join us at Max & Shooters this Saturday, June 23rd, for our annual Springfield Armory Day. See and shoot a variety of new Springfield products for only $10. Enjoy free food, a gun raffle, and great sale prices on all Springfield firearms. That's this Saturday, June 23rd, at Max & Shooters in Des Plaines. For info, visit maxandshooters.com. That's MAXON shooters.com.
The expensive mattress you're considering buying is a waste of money. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of HelixSleep.com, the only place to get a customized mattress starting at just $600. Just go to HelixSleep.com, fill out our 2-minute sleep survey, and we'll design a mattress made just for you with a 100-night sleep trial and financing as low as 0%. Go to HelixSleep.com/talkradio right now and you'll get $125 towards your mattress order. That's HelixSleep.com/talkradio.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology actively invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you, the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Retirement Zone Radio and the North Shore Capital Group, empowering you Saturday afternoons at 4.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And one of the unintended benefits of this immigration family separation controversy, get reunited with people that you hadn't seen in a while. I had no idea Peter Fonda was still alive.
Oh, I didn't either.
Still alive.
Wasn't he on Golden Pond? Oh, no, that was his father.
Yes. Here's the Easy Rider.
He was an Easy Rider.
And Uly's Gold. And that's it.
Well, he's dead to me this morning.
Yes.
Peter Fonda. Because I'm very protective of Melania and Barron. Because Eli and Barron are the same age, you know.
I did not think about it that way.
Because he does,
sure.
He was 10, now he's 12, so yeah.
No, sure, I get the progression.
You get how that goes?
Yeah.
And Eli said to me once, he goes, is he always going to be 10? Because everyone kept reporting him as a 10-year-old boy.
Well, there are some...
But he's a young man.
There is this thing called Peter Pan syndrome where your age changes, but your maturity doesn't. That's sort of happened to Peter Fonda, who tweeted out, we should rip Barron Trump from his mother's arms and put him in a cage with pedophiles and see if his mother will stand up against the giant a-hole she is married to. 90 million people in the streets on the same weekend in the country. Yeah, so
the Secret Service was called because that is a direct threat against the president's son. And I love her spokesperson. Melania's spokesperson.
Who, Donald Trump Jr.?
Pardon?
Because he tweeted back at Peter Fonda, Don Jr.
Oh, yeah, what did he
You're
tweet?
clearly a sick individual and everyone is an internet badass, but rather than attack an 11-year-old like a bully and a coward, why don't you pick on someone a bit bigger?
Well, that's good. Stephanie Grissom, name assassinator, she said the tweet is sick and irresponsible, and USSS with Secret Service has been notified.
This is Peter Fonda sort of had a spat of these tweets. let's see, Christian Nielsen should be put in a cage and poked at by passerbys. They should be pilloried in Lafayette Square, naked, whipped by passerby while being filmed for posterity. SS, Sarah Sanders is a lying something, too. Maybe we should take her children away, deport her to Arkansas, and giving her children to Stephen Goebbels Miller for safekeeping.
Okay. Clearly, he
needs
needs to have
work.
his Twitter account taken
Can
away.
somebody please give Peter Fonda some work? He's got too much time on his hands.
Or maybe the early stages of dementia have set in because he doesn't have a filter there.
Peter Fonda has subsequently apologized for the Barron Trump tweet.
You think?
Now, again, remember, my theory is that Barron Trump is running this whole operation.
Oh, that's right, because he has his own floor at the Trump Tower, by the way, even though he lives allegedly in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
But you think he's in charge of this whole thing?
He's moving all the pieces around. He's the Kaiser Sose here.
It's his own little office.
So, this is just sort of indicative of what you get. I mean, basically, just like 15 degrees less idiotic than that.
Yeah.
Our own Senator Dick Durbin.
Oh,
Sack of Durbin. Yeah. First, he came for the Dreamers, and then on May 1st, with the zero tolerance policy, he came for the children.
Oh yeah, here's Sack of Durbin.
We know the depths this administration will go to now to push their hateful agenda.
Oh yeah.
The first he came, and then he came. Obviously, that is a reference to Martin Niemöller's poem about the Nazis.
Mm-hmm. I know.
And Dick Durbin, he calls. I mean, to be fair, he calls everybody Nazis. He calls American soldiers Nazis too. So Trump should feel like he's in pretty good company, being referred to as a Nazi implicitly by Dick Durbin. But the bottom line is that hysteria and that intolerance and that intemperate rhetoric worked, because yesterday Trump caved and he signed this executive order trying to spin his way out of it.
Thank you very much. We're signing an executive order I consider to be a very important executive order. It's about keeping families together while at the same time being sure that we have a very powerful, very strong border, and border security will be equal, if not greater, than previously. So we're going to have strong, very strong borders, but we're going to keep the families together. I didn't like the sight or the feeling of families being separated. There's a problem that's gone on for many years, as you know, through many administrations, and we're working very hard on immigration. It's been just left out in the cold. People haven't dealt with it, and we are dealing with it. So step by step, just like we dealt with North Korea, we dealt with Iran, we dealt with an economy that was heading in the wrong direction, we dealt with a lot of different problems. This is one that has been going on for many decades. So we're keeping families together, and this will solve that problem. At the same time, we are keeping a very powerful border, and it continues to be a zero tolerance. We have zero tolerance for people that enter our country illegally.
Yeah, well, he can't keep them together beyond 20 days per the Flores settlement in 1997. And you can't detain children. So...
Well, could the children voluntarily want to stay with their parents? Can the parents make the kids stay with them?
That would
while
be
they're going through the
process? That would be in detention. That would be custodial. So then what are you going to have? You're going to have the ACLU come in and invoke the Flores consent decree and make the argument that they're illegally, per the law, detaining the kids. What this does, and, you know, Trump's brave face, both when he signed the executive order as well as at the rally in Duluth, notwithstanding, what this does is put us right back into the catch and release versus family separation trick bag that we have been in and that previous administrations have been in and operated. I know for some people this is all just started because they didn't care when Obama was doing it, and he was. The Obama administration was doing the same thing because Trump is Hitler. They care now. But that's where we're at. So this is a cave.
But President Trump was very convincing yesterday.
If you're really, really pathetically weak, the country's going to be overrun with millions of people. And if you're strong, then you don't have any heart. That's a tough dilemma.
I mean, I believed him yesterday when he said zero tolerance policy is still in effect. We're just going to keep families together while they're going through the process. So that was fake news?
It's not true it's just not going to be true. That may be what he wishes were true. Okay. That may be what he hopes to ultimately have. That is not what we have as of the signing of that executive order yesterday. It's just not. That doesn't mean that I think his desire is disingenuous. This is, I think, the signing of that executive order, which he is not inclined to do just a couple of days ago,
right,
is a way to tamp down the controversies surrounding the pictures, to tamp down the media hysteria, like that's possible, and to provide, I guess, more latitude for Congress to move on something more closely resembling comprehensive immigration reform of a border security first variety. I think that's what his angle is. That's what his game is. But yesterday was a step back. Maybe it's to take 2 steps forward. I'll leave open that possibility. But don't tell me it wasn't a step back, because it was.
Yeah, but I knew he was going to cave once Ivanka got involved, and apparently Melania was involved. He had a political problem and a personal problem because, when ladies are bothering you, you have to do something.
Ivanka feels very strongly. My wife feels very strongly about it. I feel very strongly about it. I think anybody with a heart would feel very strongly about it. We don't like to see families separated.
And people to keep in mind, but now there are 2,342 children that have been separated. They're in 17 different states. There are 81 kids at a shelter in Michigan. There's 237 in New York that Mayor de Blasio didn't even know about. I mean, he was very upset when he found out that kids were being sent there because there's multiple agencies involved in this. So it's a complex web. And according to the executive order, the onus is on the parents to find the children and reunite with their children.
Here's something for those that are celebrating the Trump's capitulation, the signing of that executive order. If you could help me a little bit, because some of the same people celebrating this executive order and this cave by Trump are those who are arguing that he didn't have the power to institute a temporary travel ban. So he has the unqualified authority to end the family separation policy in spite of the Flores consent decree, according to them, and apparently according to Trump, because he did it, but he doesn't have the authority to institute the temporary travel ban, which of course he does, and Trump at least is consistent in his belief in his supreme executive authority on the topic. So just square that circle for me. If you were critical of the temporary travel ban, but you're supportive of this executive order the president signed.
And how do you feel about his flip-flop? I mean, this is a huge reversal, especially it was something he campaigned on during the election. 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line.
Well, he didn't campaign on the family separation policy specifically.
But tougher and stronger border security.
Mike on the north side.
Hey, Mike.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. If they have a problem housing these kids, why don't they just get the Democrat running for governor in Illinois, Buddy Hackett Jr., and put him up at the Hyatt hotels? They've got some vacancies. But I just wish the Democrats would make up their mind about kids. These kids that aren't even from this country, they love and should be treated like royalty. But once a kid's here, if it's a baby, the Democrats want to abort it. And if it's a school kid in Chicago, they don't care if it gets shot or molested by one of their patronage workers. Come up with a comprehensive policy on kids. Do you like them or not? Protect them or don't. But don't pick and choose.
It's fair. Thanks for the call, Mike. It's true.
Well, it did get a little out of control. I mean, there is a 9-month-old baby who was sent to New York. How's she going to identify who their parents are? They're not.
John in Arlington Heights.
Hi. I don't know. I haven't heard on the radio that Peter Fonda happens to have a new movie coming out on Friday, and maybe this is his way, the wrong way of promoting.
Wait a second. He does? What's his new movie?
I think it's called Bargainers. I'm not sure of the name because I wasn't really interested in it.
Sure,
but it starts on Friday.
Oh, interesting.
Look that up there.
Thanks for the call, John. I didn't realize that.
I didn't realize he was alive, and now you're telling me he's in a movie? Okay.
Huh.
Peter Fonda.
Kent in Aurora, he noticed the same thing I noticed, but I haven't said it yet. Kent, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we're missing the second part of Peter Fonda's quote. He's implying that all the immigrants are pedophiles.
That's exactly right. Put Barron Trump we should rip Barron Trump from his mother's arms and put him in a cage with pedophiles and see if his mother will stand up against blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, he is saying that the people coming to this country are pedophiles. I mean, it's akin to the misapplication of the quote to Trump that, all Mexican immigrants here are rapists and so forth. Very good, Kent.
The movie.
Animals.
Yeah, that's right. Very good, Kent.
Peter Fonda's movie is out this Friday. It's called Boundaries.
Boundaries.
The distributor is still moving forward despite his remarks.
Dennis Hopper not available for that movie.
Abhorrent, reckless, and dangerous. Okay. Roseanne can say whatever she wants, and she loses her career. He can do this, and he's fine. Movie's fine. Sony Pictures is going to be fine.
Well, it's fine because Peter Fonda doesn't have a career. She can't lose something you don't have. Chris in Aurora.
Hey, how's it going? I have a question, Dan. Is this possible that Trump's playing a game of chicken here? Because we were doing what we were doing before. It upsetted everybody because we were being too harsh and inhumane. He signs the executive order. Now, whoever stands up and tries to challenge that is going to look like the bad guy because he said, well, hey, we're putting them back together here, but then now instead of doing catch and release, we're still doing zero tolerance. We're keeping them together. So then he comes out looking good in the end?
I mean, it's possible. Yeah, thanks for the call, Chris. I mean, it's possible. Look, you're not going to have Democrats sign on to this or be supportive of the president. So there is going to be some exposure. Say, well, wait a second, you just signed an executive order at least attempting to address what you wanted to address. And now, let me give you an example. Senator Jeff Merkley from Oregon. It sounds like they're planning a handcuffs for all strategy where children will be locked up along with their parents. So they're going to continue to play this game because they feel like they are gaining politically from it. They're going to continue to look for the pictures, to have Rachel Maddow trot out and cry on camera. They're going to continue to do this to squeeze every bit of political capital they can from it. There's no question.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
And also, American United and Frontier Airlines have come out and say, we don't want to be a part of this separation. Well, we need you now to help unite families, so you might want to reverse your policy. Today, cooler with some rain, some heavy thunderstorms likely. Watch for possible flooding in low-lying areas. It's going to be cold for this first official day of summer. A high of 68 degrees tonight. Rain, possible thunderstorms, a low of in the 50s. And then tomorrow, occasional rain and drizzle, just kind of a damp, cold day. A high only in the mid-60s. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Dan. Well, those airlines have had a lot of cancellations this week. Right now, the flight boards at Chicago's airports look pretty good. Very few delays, but there is some weather incoming, so we'll be keeping an eye on that throughout the day. There's a new roadwork configuration at the Eden Spur with the open tolling lane now closed on the right side in both directions instead of the left, so expect congestion. Eden's itself, 20 minutes. Make it 22 minutes now from Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound, it's 20. Kennedy, 29 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 26. Eisenhower, 40 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 30. Stevenson, 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36. Ryan, 26 minutes, 95 to downtown. Mild delays on I-57 at the Bishop Ford. North on Tri-State slow. The Stevenson to 47th and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
The rapid evolution of technology and industrial robotic automation systems offers a multitude of solutions that give manufacturers a competitive advantage. From ergonomics, quality control, and the need to meet increased production goals while improving the lives of everybody on the factory floor, industrial robotic automation can mean increased profitability and higher quality jobs. Matrix Industrial Automation has built a reputation as an industry leader in developing, building, and installing a wide range of turnkey robotic automation systems. Manufacturers big and small, local and worldwide, depend on Matrix to deliver the most optimal and robust industrial automation systems with improved ROI in mind. Nearly 2 decades of experience and hundreds of installed systems is why Matrix Industrial Automation, headquartered in Bartlett, Illinois, are the industrial automation experts. For information or to schedule a free automation consultation, visit matrixindustrialautomation.com or call 847-841-8260. That's matrixindustrialautomation.com.
Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher stated, "Socialist governments traditionally do make a financial mess. They always run out of other people's money. That sure rings true in America."
I know you support companies that share your conservative values. For FDA-regulated staffing needs, Automated Systems provides top talent, from experienced quality control and quality assurance engineers to top validation and compliance experts. Depend on Automated Systems. Hiring the best is critical to success. ASI Resources are all degreed professionals with decades of experience in manufacturing, automation, and FDA compliance. That's why ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life science companies to successful startups. For a staffing evaluation, call Laz at Automated Systems, toll-free 844-HIRE-ASI, or visit automatedsys.com.
Hey, your kids aren't thinking about school very much this summer, but it's the perfect time for you to think about where you'll be sending your child back to school this fall. More and more parents are thinking about private school, and maybe that's you. Maybe private schools have never been more affordable, and that's thanks to halfpriceschools.com. At halfpriceschools.com, you can find a full year tuition voucher for half off the price. There is no catch. Go to their website, find a school near you, and purchase that tuition voucher. They sell out every year, so do not wait. There's schools located all over the Chicagoland area. Even in Chicago, there's Midwestern Christian Academy, Daystar School in the South Loop, Kankakee Trinity Academy in Kankakee. Just go to halfpriceschools.com. Do not wait. Again, these vouchers always sell out. Halfpriceschools.com. That's halfpriceschools.com.
A good parking lot is essential to a good building and a good business.
This is Kevin Berquist. My company is SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. Great parking lots. The name says it all. We make your parking lot great. We are an industry leader in seal coating. You can trust our company to do the work for your company. We have the same traditional values as you. We use a process and application that makes sure you get a great job that lasts a long time. I guarantee you'll have a good experience. Check it out, GreatParkingLots.com.
Go to GreatParkingLots.com. Schedule a free inspection and get a quote to make your parking lot a great parking lot. Special early season discounts if you act now. Save the expense. Fix, don't replace. Contact SKC Construction now for commercial parking lot seal coating and maintenance. SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. GreatParkingLots.com.
When you purchase an alarm system, you do it for one reason above all others. You need to know something about the people or property under your care. Knowing that what matters most will be looked after by professionals when you can't be there is a comforting feeling. At Alarm Detection Systems, we've learned a great deal from our decades of service. We know how to treat customers on the phone. We know that installing quality security products using certified technicians is the only way to go. We know that same-day service and local monitoring will provide the safety and peace of mind you're looking for. You no longer have to wonder if your home or business is protected by your alarm system. Know that it is. At home or on the go, the information you seek is right in your hands. It's good to be in the know. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. That's 630-844-6300 or online at adsalarm.com. Alarm license number 127000143.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
In my practice, I was getting to the point where I couldn't have the strength to see that many patients anymore. I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It really affected my breathing and the strength that I had. And I was introduced to the fruits and veggies. Just slowly, my strength started to come back. and it was because of the good nutrition. I can't say enough good for Balance of Nature and what it's done for me. I recommend it to everybody.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
This is fantastic.
Apparently, the Chiron writer that used to work at NBC5, did stories for Marion Brooks, was hired by ABC News. ABC News reporting yesterday that Paul Manafort had pled guilty to manslaughter.
Oh, yeah, 5 charges of manslaughter. It came during President Obama was talking. It wasn't while he was signing the executive order. It was the announcement that he's going to be signing an executive order, so it was a special report on ABC News, and it just flashed in the Chiron underneath.
Yeah.
No explanation. Manafort pleading guilty to 5 counts of manslaughter.
Which would be jarring. It'd be a real excited utterance since, of course, he's not charged with manslaughter. But
ABC News was swift to apologize, saying the network regretted the error and was investigating how the incorrect information was made into a graphic and then allowed to air. But everything's in queue first, because I've been in those production booths. You see it in queue, and then you put it. Then somebody's got to press a button. So I just think I don't think it was slippy fingers, if you know what I mean.
Well, so explain what happened to Marion Brooks back in 2011 when that little polar bear named Newt died.
And they spelled it wrong. What was it? How was it spelled?
Well, Newt is supposed to be spelled Knut, but that's not how it was spelled.
No, it was spelled K.
Right. I'll see if we have a smart audience. I think they can figure out which 2 letters were
it rhymes with
inverted.
Lunt.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Oh, we'll pick up our discussion of immigration at 6:36.
And what about those children? How are the families going to be reunited? But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
A flash flood watch is up for portions of north central and northeast Illinois. Cook, DuPage, Grundy, Kane, Kendall, Lake, McHenry, and Will counties all are part of this flash flood watch through tomorrow morning. GOP House Speaker Paul Ryan says the House will vote on a bill to keep immigrant families together today. He says the measure will keep families who are being prosecuted for illegally crossing the border together under DHS custody. Additional funding will also be provided to DHS so they can provide care for families. President Trump also talked about the executive order that he signed ending the official practice of separating families at the border.
And by the way, today I signed an executive order. We're going to keep families together, but the border is going to be just as tough as it's been.
Other news we're following this morning, organizers say hundreds of protesters are in the streets in East Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, after a deadly shooting of an unarmed black teen this week. A California couple accused of torturing 12 of their 13 children faces more legal challenges today in court as a judge is hearing evidence in the case to determine whether David and Louise Turpin will actually face a jury. There's a new legal challenge to Iowa's fetal heartbeat law. The new lawsuit comes from a Michigan pro-life group that says that law is too lenient. More than 140 people are facing deportation for a massive immigration raid at a meat processing plant in Ohio. One woman is dead and 3 others are hurt here in Chicago after a reported stolen vehicle sped away from police and then crashed into a taxi on Chicago's near north side near Dearborn and Grand. Father of a teen shooting victim left unattended by Chicago paramedics earlier this week is seeking answers following the death of his son. Speaking yesterday, Eric Carey says the Chicago Fire Department dropped the ball on his son.
It was too long to leave anybody laying in the middle of the street. They're not doctors. Their job was to come and get him and whatever, if they had to bandage him or give him medicine and get him to a hospital. That was their job.
A sheet was placed over the body of 17-year-old Aaron Carey after he and 5 others were shot at a party on the near west side early on Monday. Illinois is confirming its first human case of West Nile. The Department of Public Health yesterday saying a Chicago woman in her 60s was sickened in mid-May. That's really early. IDPH says last year's first human case wasn't confirmed until July 20th. And the artist who created the world-famous bean apparently doesn't have a problem with tourists who post selfies with the work that he created all over the internet. But the artist, Anish Kapoor, says he has a problem with the NRA using his work in one of their ads. Kapoor this week filed suit to stop the NRA from using any image of the bean. Now, Kapoor doesn't own the overpriced, much-delayed sculpture, which started out costing $6 million and ended up costing $23 million. Kapoor only owns the copyright for the sculpture, and that may restrict any commercial reproduction. Cubs blanked the Dodgers 4-0 at Wrigley Field. Meantime, the Indians clobbered the White Sox 12-0 in Cleveland. The news is a service of Napa. This month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, Avalanche AC recharge kits are on sale for just $39.99, plus a $15 prepaid Visa card by mail. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Dennis Prager Show. Dennis Prager Show.
Criticizing some of the liberal media's coverage of the U.S.-North Korea summit on denuclearization, President Donald Trump said America's biggest enemy is fake news, which is so easily promulgated by fools. It's 100% accurate. America's greatest enemy is fake news. That's right.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
For more than a half century, Mueller CPA and Financial Advisory has provided audit, tax, outsourced accounting, business consulting, and financial advisory services to Chicagoland companies. Mueller provides customized financial guidance to a client base that includes independent business owners, startups, local government, and nonprofits. I'm with Dave Nissen, Mueller Managing Partner.
Thanks, Dan. Mueller values being part of the community for the last 50 years, meeting our clients' financial service needs. A major component of meeting those needs is our professionals' superb knowledge and their ability to deliver timely and quality solutions to meet our clients' challenges. Whether you're interested in tax minimization strategies, looking to expand your business, or need assistance with business planning, our team can help. Our goal is your company's financial success today and over a lifetime.
For questions about how the recent legislative changes can specifically affect your business or how to effectively plan for these changes, call Dave Nissen at 847-888-8600 or visit MuellerCPA.com. That's Mueller, M-U-E-L-L-E-R, CPA.com.
It is 6:36. Let's get an update on the ride to work in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Eden's inbound delays are from Niles Center to Montrose, 30 minutes like Cook Junction outbound 21. Kennedy, 36 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 17 from Montrose, 15 in the Express. Outbound, 15 to Montrose, 32 minutes downtown to the airport. Von Eisenhower, 45 minutes, 390 to downtown, 32 from Mannheim, outbound 34 to 390. Stevenson, 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36. Ryan is 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 17 minutes, 90 to the merge, Bishop 426. Northbound Tri-State, it's not enough from 111th to the Hinsdale Oasis, the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. The other tollways are okay. Traffic service of Napa. This month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, Avalanche AC recharge kits are on sale for just $39.99, plus a $15 prepaid Visa card by mail. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. A cooler day ahead. Rain, some heavy, and a thunderstorm. Watch out for flash flooding and a high of 68. Currently, we have 65. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth. Tune in Saturday afternoons at 2 for Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth.
Some call me the sage from South Central. Others call me the czar of common sense. But you can call me Larry Elder. And you're invited to join me tonight, starting at 7, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So we've got a police-involved shooting in East Pittsburgh that has the potential to become a national story. And this against the backdrop here in Chicago, where you're looking at the trial of Jason Van Dyke, and the Laquan McDonald killing starting as soon as next month.
Yeah, and then the LaGreer shooting.
That trial's
going on right now, and he hired Joel Brodsky as his attorney.
Yeah, that's not a great choice if he values his freedom, but okay. So here's the thing about, the interesting thing, too, about the Laquan McDonald case, the Jason Van Dyke prosecution. We had Kevin Graham, the head of Chicago FOP, on the show the other week, and I've also heard from other Chicago police officers. They really believe that Van Dyke is going to be acquitted.
Well, so do I. I've always believed he's... The only reason why this was made a national news story is because they said he shot him 16 times. Who cares how many rounds were fired? If he shot him once, if he died on the first or second round or the 16th, he felt his life was in jeopardy, that he was wielding a knife, and he wasn't listening to police, and he was heading into a residential neighborhood. I would have shot him, too.
Well, I think it's going to be...
he had fair warning.
I think that has the potential to be a real powder keg if that prediction comes to pass. The other thing that we had in the Jason Van Dyke, Laquan McDonald shooting was video, and we don't have that here because East Pittsburgh police do not wear body cams. They don't have dashboard cams. There is video of the actual shooting in this case that was taken by, just
a surveillance camera.
Yeah, right.
And you can see Antoine Rose, 17 years old, running from the vehicle, and then the shot is fired.
Yeah, but it's totally without context. And so here's a local report from KDKA-TV, the timeline of events that culminated with the shooting.
Police say that it was 8:27 p.m. when they received a call for shots fired in North Braddock. They say 9 .40 caliber rounds were fired at a man who then was hit but fired back. Police say 13 minutes later, Allegheny County Police tell me that an East Pittsburgh officer spotted that vehicle, pulled the vehicle over, had the driver outside of the vehicle, and told the two passengers not to move. That's when police say they took off running and witnesses began rolling.
Right, and so you have the driver, but you've got two passengers. Both took off, and one of them was the 17-year-old Antoine Rose. He was shot 3 times, killed. The other individual was at large as of that report, and they were looking for him. And so you had the Allegheny County Police Superintendent Coleman McDonough offer this assessment at this point.
Based on witness statements, we believe the officer, when he stopped the vehicle, began to conduct what we call felony traffic stop. Ordered the driver out. The driver was prone on the ground. He also gave a command to the other occupants, and at that time they fled the vehicle.
And it's important to point out that police recovered 2 weapons from that vehicle.
Okay. And are they figuring out if that shots were fired from that vehicle, or if the driver is the one who fired 9 .40 caliber rounds?
Previous incident 13 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
Right. So then the car is identified after that car. Those in that car were essentially identified as being involved in that shooting. This cop, who, by the way, was sworn in as a police officer that day, and who's involved in the shooting.
What are the chances of that happening?
He identifies the car, and it's that felony stop, as was described by the police superintendent. Deadly force, by the way, can be used when force is necessary to prevent an escape, and the person to be arrested has committed a forcible felony, or he's attempting to escape and possesses a deadly weapon, or he will endanger others if not arrested right away. So the video shows Antoine Rose fleeing the car, and the police officer opens fire, shoots him in the back.
But he didn't have a weapon on person. I mean, he personally was unarmed. So,
but there were weapons in the car.
Right, but the narrative is here's another unarmed black teenager shot by police.
Well, right, but it's important to understand the deadly force standard just to repeat it again, to prevent an escape, if the person to be arrested has committed a forcible felony, this is a car that was identified as involved in a shooting 13 minutes earlier. He's attempting to escape, possesses a deadly weapon. He's attempting to escape. They find 2 guns in the car. He will endanger others if not arrested right away. It was difficult to assess whether or not, assuming that these guys were involved in a shooting, assuming there were weapons in the car, whether Rose would have a weapon on him or not, fleeing just in terms of the public safety aspect. So it seems to me that there is going to be some outrage over this case because he was shot in the back fleeing police.
Oh, yeah,
but in context,
well, the family already has hired an attorney and said, Rose posed no immediate threat to anyone because he was not armed. And also that police officer, he was sworn in that day, but he has been an officer with other local departments for 7 years. So, but still, it's that's what you tell. I tell my kids and parents, this is what you have to do, and grandparents, no matter what color your skin is, you have to tell them when a police officer tells you to remain in the car or put your hands up, you listen to that police officer. You're putting your own life in peril when you take off running. It's the dumbest thing. This could have been avoided.
McDonough also saying, the police superintendent, social media is so prolific now. Some of the initial postings that came out directly after this incident were inaccurate and inflammatory. So I'd urge that people in the community give us a chance to conduct an objective investigation. I guarantee that's what they'll get from the Allegheny County Police. And it'll be difficult for people to exercise the patience to wait for that. Tom in Deer Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, Dan, back to the McDonald shooting. I'm just wondering what you're hearing and what you're thinking. There's a possibility always exists, but the possibility in this huge thing being a powder keg, that this guy could get wrongly convicted because the potential that all hell could break loose if he is convicted. And how does that work with the legal system and the jurors and then the entire police department?
Well, first of all, the assumption that it's a jury trial.
It might be a bench trial.
I'd be surprised if he didn't go with a bench trial. I don't know what the thinking would be with respect to a jury trial. So, but I mean, just because you're facing a judge who's going to adjudicate this ostensibly based on the law, the idea that circuit court judges in Cook County can't be influenced by politics? Well, obviously nobody believes that. So no, I don't know. I don't know the judge in the case. I don't know, how this plays out. Political pressure. Some people are more inclined to stand up to it than others. So I think that's a real factor in the case. I think you have to, as the evidence is presented in the case and we get some coverage of it, that's going to be one of the questions that's certainly asked depending on the outcome. Thanks for the call, Tom. Appreciate it. Joe in Naperville.
All these things are just teaching me one thing. If I get pulled over, the best thing to do is run and resist, because only 2 things are going to happen. Either I'm going to get away, or me or my family is going to hit the lottery by getting shot by the police. That's the only thing that I'm learning from all these things. Why can't these people just, if you get pulled over, you comply, and that's it?
Thanks for the call, Joe.
He's right. That's just what I said, repeating what I said. If he didn't run, he wouldn't have gotten shot.
Right. Yeah.
But people are saying, he's an overzealous cop. He's white. The kid's black. Blah, blah, blah. Here we go again.
The police officer's name has not been released at this point.
And I hope they don't release it, but he is on, administrative duty.
That's right. And just going back to that civil rights attorney that's already descending on there, Lee Merritt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm en route to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to investigate the murder of Antoine Rose.
Okay.
There you go. The family asked that I release the statement on their behalf as I continued to look for answers, in which the statement from this attorney, Lee Merritt, who's a bit of a noted civil rights attorney. We know very little about the circumstances surrounding the death at this early stage. We must emphasize that rumors of him being involved in a separate shooting are unsubstantiated. We know that he was not armed at the time he was shot, and that at the time he was shot down, that he posed no immediate threat to anyone, and that significantly the driver of the vehicle he occupied was released from police custody. The officer involved in the shooting had just been sworn in to the Pittsburgh PD roughly 3 hours before this encounter. These facts, without more, simply leave very little room to justify the use of deadly force by this officer. And then he goes on, additional information. I'm going down there to investigate more. So you understand the disposition here. And, he raises some legitimate questions. What the driver of that vehicle was released.
That's a big
if that's true,
red flag.
Yeah, if that's true, those individuals were allegedly involved in the shooting.
And are they old? He's 17. I mean, how old was the driver? Was he
Don't know.
legally own those 2 weapons that were found in his car?
Another good question. So, I'm not kind of adjudicating this case because that attorney raised some good questions that Allegheny County Police are going to have to answer as well. But that contextual information of guns in the car, what the standard is for deadly force, the report of this car identified by this East Pittsburgh police officer being involved in a shooting just 13 minutes earlier, those are important contextual factors that Mr. Merritt is going to have to address as well.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The U.S. military may house illegals during prosecutions. All eyes on OPEC, and a federal court revives Dr. Pepper's challenge to Coca-Cola. Those stories next.
Attention American patriots. If you want to boost your stock market returns by tens of thousands of dollars to levels most people will never achieve, you're going to love a new investment research service called Profits Unlimited. A small group of everyday Americans have begun using Profits Unlimited, and they're absolutely loving it. Peter Jacobs from Easton, Maryland says his stock account is already up well over $100,000. Mark Hogan from Fort Collins, Colorado has made $191,000, and Jeff and Valerie Brown, a retired couple from upstate New York, pocketed over $1.6 million thanks to Profits Unlimited. We've heard from thousands of folks all across America telling us how Profits Unlimited has helped them make a fortune and forever change their lives. Now it's your turn. To get all the details, just go to profitsunlimited.com. Don't wait. Go to profitsunlimited.com while there is still time.
Right after President Trump's executive order, Defense Secretary Mattis says the Pentagon will respond if requested to house those detained after illegally crossing into the United States. In advance of tomorrow's OPEC meeting, oil futures climbing, observers predicting that OPEC oil ministers will vote to increase production. Meanwhile, wholesale gasoline dropped to $2.02 a gallon. The U.S. Court of Appeals in the District of Columbia has revived Dr. Pepper's challenge to Coca-Cola and its efforts to register trademarks for drinks containing the word zero, notably Coke Zero. Dr. Pepper, that also owns Snapple, contends zero is too generic to trademark. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern, on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
This is Dan Props with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Insubordination, indifference, intimidated by Hillary's lawyers, improper gifts, lack of impartiality. The IG's report makes Democrats' dreams of a Trump impeachment inconceivable. So complete is the Trump vindication that the left has regressed back to trying to figure out whether or not they're supposed to like Jim Comey. Trump should press his advantage here by consummating his anti-ruling class value proposition. The public doesn't want the FBI or DOJ to go away. They just don't want the senior leadership of those agencies to be conniving political operatives who believe themselves to be above the law. Both are headed by Trump appointees now. The president should make a very public play to take a very active role in working with Christopher Wray and Jeff Sessions, or replacing them if need be, to make the personnel and policy changes necessary for culture change and credibility restoration. Much of the positive disruption President Trump has brought to the Beltway has been through simply doing what he said he would do as candidate Trump. It confounds the men and women of always. Trump ran as a law and order candidate. The FBI and DOJ are instrumental institutions to the rule of law and public order in America. Trump would bedevil his critics once again if he chose this moment to be an institutional rebuilder.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
I look at Balance of Nature and I look what it's doing for me as I've started taking it, and for the patients that I have that are taking it, it's been phenomenal watching the changes that have happened and how much healthier and how much more energy that they have. I haven't heard any negative feedback from any of my patients who have been taking the product. The thing that amazes me with it is that it's so simple.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hey, Chicagoland, Dan Proft here, and I'm here with my guy Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com. He's one of us, and he just gets it. Ryan, great to talk to you again. Look, obviously home prices are going up, and homes are moving fast. Somebody's looking to sell their home in the Chicagoland area. What do?
Well, if you're looking to sell your house, I tell you, just kind of make up a price and put a for sale by owner sign out in the front yard, and you should have no problem selling that house. There's just not enough inventory. There's more buyers out there than there are sellers. But if you're thinking about buying a house, that's where you really better be on your A game. You better be pre-approved and pre-approved by a strong mortgage lender. At the Home Loan Expert Office, when we pre-approve you to buy a house, we go over your credit with you. We go over interest rates, payments, give you a good idea of what you should be looking for and what your price points are. And then we pre-approve you on a gold piece of paper. Literally, our pre-approvals are written on gold. When we send those to the agents, they know that you're ready to buy. Don't miss the house of your dreams. Get pre-approved today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for a health care plan, or more importantly, if you signed up for a plan that you're just not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called Medi-Share. Medi-Share is a Christian healthcare sharing program. It's been around for 25 years. They have hundreds of thousands of members all across the country. And get this, over the years, Medi-Share members have shared more than $2.5 billion of each other's medical bills. Best of all, you could save a lot of money with Medi-Share. The typical savings for a family is about $500 a month. Your savings may be less or more, but think about what you could do with that extra money every month. So if you think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have much to offer, think again. You can join Medi-Share anytime, so call them today and check it out. Here's the number to find out more. There's no pressure. They're super easy to talk to. Just hit *734. That's *734, *734.
The warmth of sun is here for you to enjoy the great outdoors. Feel like an instant getaway with a beach vibe and fun for the entire family? There's a place nearby you're going to want to check out. Bridges Waterside Grill and Bridge Inn in Michigan City, Indiana. Bridge Inn is the perfect place for your Lake Michigan escape. Amazing attractions like the Uptown Arts District, boutique shopping, beaches, the zoo, casino, and museums are all in walking distance. Bridge Inn offers year-round lodging, but you can take in the sunshine at the Bridges Waterside Grill through September. Grab a cocktail and dine on fish tacos, burgers, and wraps with lots of vegetarian and seafood options. Book one of 14 suites at Bridge Inn before summer sells out. Bridges is located near the rotating train bridge on the Trail Creek waterfront in the heart of Michigan City. Don't visit Michigan City without stopping by the Bridge Inn and Bridges Waterside Grill. For more info and availability, visit bridgeinnmc.com. That's bridgeinnmc.com.
If you or someone you know is blind from retinitis pigmentosa, there may now be light at the end of the tunnel. Known as the Second Sight Argus II retinal prosthesis system, this is the only FDA-approved treatment for end-stage retinitis pigmentosa. Find out more by calling 800-499-7620. Call 800-499-7620 to learn more about an FDA-approved system that provides some artificial vision for those blinded by retinitis pigmentosa. Once again, the number to call is 800-499-7620. Call now. Argus II is indicated for patients who are completely blind due to retinitis pigmentosa. Possible side effects that may require further treatment include wound reopening, low eye pressure, serious infection in the eye, and retinal detachment. For more information, including all potential risks associated with the device and procedure, call 800-499-7620. That's 800-499-7620, or visit our website at info.secondsight.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy,
Yeah.
World Cup season, right?
Do you know where the World Cup's being played? Sochi, Russia?
Yeah, of course.
America, we're not in it, so you have to cheer for the homeland. I'm cheering
Great
for
job,
Sweden.
America.
Well, Sweden beat South Korea. Now we play Germany Saturday and Mexico on Wednesday.
Open wide for some soccer! The Continental Soccer Association is coming to Springfield. It's all here. Fast kicking, low scoring, and ties. You bet. You'll see all your favorite soccer stars like Arriaga 2, Barriaga, Aruglia, and Pizzoza. This match will determine once and for all which nation is the greatest on earth, Mexico or Portugal.
That goes out to John Cass. Burger King is in a bit of trouble.
Fantastic. Oh, what'd they do?
They have ads in Russia for the World Cup.
Yeah?
Where they're offering a lifetime supply of Whoppers to Russian women who get pregnant from World Cup players. Interesting. But, I mean, Russia does have a birth rate problem.
So they want the women to bang the Russian soccer players or soccer players that are stars from other countries?
Well, not specific.
Like, you have your wing and your center, so you want to make sure, that you field a complete team.
It is Russian.
Russian on Russian. All right.
Reward women who get the best football genes and ensure the success of the Russian team for generations to come. Mm-hmm.
They've had so much success with the games there that they've run out of beer, by the way, at local taverns.
Yeah.
Well, to get your beer goggles, to get your drink on, to get your man on.
Yeah, to get your free lifetime supply of Whoppers.
Halfback passes to the center. Back to the wing. Back to the center. Center holds it. Holds it. Holds it.
Yeah, it's a very exciting game.
Gee, sounds like baseball.
It is 7 a.m. and time for Fox News.
He still wants zero tolerance. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
So the Democrats want open borders. Let everybody come in.
President Trump at a rally last night in Duluth, Minnesota, hours after his executive order aimed at tamping down the controversy over separating kids from parents who will still be prosecuted for entering the U.S. illegally. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
Responding to enormous political pressure, President Trump signed an executive order meant to end the separation of families at the border for an indefinite period. The president addressed the issue at a campaign-style rally in Minnesota.
We're going to keep families together, but the border is going to be just as tough as it's been.
Ending the practice of separating families still faces legal obstacles. A federal judge could refuse to give the Trump administration the authority at once to hold families in custody for more than 20 days. And the president's order does nothing to address the plight of more than 2,300 children who have already been separated from their parents. Dave?
And John, House Republicans hope to resolve the dispute in legislation that'll be voted on today.
We have a permanent fix so that when they come into the country, they're detained and removed.
GOP Congressman Michael McCaul backs what's called a compromise plan that would also reform legal immigration, provide border wall funding, and allow a path to citizenship for those brought here illegally as kids.
A more conservative proposal is also expected to get a vote, but it's not clear if either can win 218 votes. And the Senate is hammering out far more limited proposals, targeting only the issue of family separation.
Fox's Jared Halper and Israel's prime minister has long been under investigation for alleged corruption. He denies. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu's wife, Sarah, has been charged with fraud, misusing public funds. In East Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a police protest over the death of a 17-year-old boy shot as he ran away from a traffic stop Tuesday night. 2 handguns were found in the car. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Cloudy skies, 64 degrees. 7:02 is our time on AM 560. The Answer, good morning. I'm Mike Scott. On WIND Chicago, here are the stories we're following. A flash flood watch is up for portions of north central Illinois, northeast Illinois. That includes Cook, DuPage, Grundy, Kane, Kendall, Lake, McHenry, and Will counties through Friday morning. 1 woman is dead, 3 others hurt after a reported stolen vehicle sped away from police and crashed into a taxi on Chicago's north side. Officers were trying to pull over and curb a white Jeep Grand Cherokee last night when the driver took off on State Street, then slammed into a cab near Dearborn and Grand. 3 in the Jeep have been taken into custody. Sex abuse victims are telling Illinois lawmakers that CPS officials added to the trauma after they were victimized by teachers and staff. AM 560's David Stewart has more.
At a hearing in Chicago, 2 victims testified that school administrators didn't call police and made them feel like they were in the wrong when they came forward. State Representative Camille Lilly praised the victims for their bravery and said there needs to be more support for those who have been abused.
Whatever legislation we put in place, it needs to have embedded in there services for the victims who are going through these tragedies. They need support to get through the trauma.
More hearings are likely this summer as lawmakers prepare legislation. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
An investigation is underway after swastika stickers and razor blades tucked underneath them were found on signs in a park on Chicago's northwest side. Some of the stickers did have names of a white supremacist group on them. Chicago sports, Cubs blanked the Dodgers 4-0 at Wrigley. Kyle Schwarber with a long home run. Indians clobbered the White Sox 12-0 in Cleveland. NBA draft tonight in Brooklyn. This morning, Bulls are hanging on to the number 7 and number 22 picks overall in the first round. The news, a service of Accountemps. Finding highly skilled accounting and finance professionals can be a challenge. Accountemps can help. With Accountemps' extensive network of accounting and finance contractors, you can be sure to find the right person for your exact hiring needs. Visit Accountemps.com to learn more. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
It's become a summer tradition. Rockin' for the Troops returns this summer on July 14th at Northwestern Medicine Field in Geneva, home of the Kane County Cougars. Don't miss this year's lineup featuring Seventh Heaven, Ayla Brown, Rocky Lynn, The Voices, and Ryan Weaver. Proceeds will benefit Operation Support Our Troops America. Get your tickets today at rockinforthetroops.org. That's rockinforthetroops.org.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
7:06. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. On the northbound Tri-State Tollway, we're seeing heavy delays. 111th to the Hinsdale Oasis, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Reagan Tollway, bumper to bumper from Fox River to Eola. Northbound Veterans Memorial, slow out with Reagan Tollway at Butterfield to St. Charles. Edens runs 28 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose. How about 22? Kennedy, 38 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 20 from Montrose, 18 to the Express. Outbound 15 minutes to Montrose, 36 to the airport. On Eisenhower, lays up 17th to past Harlem and Larrabee Circle, 45 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 36. Stevenson, 52 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 38. Ryan, 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 16 minutes, I-80 to Merge, Bishop 425. No delays to report on I-80 or Northwest Indiana. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Flash flood watch in effect through tomorrow morning. Throughout the day and night, we'll have periods of rain, some of which will be heavy, along with a thunderstorm. Again, watch for flooding. High today, 68, low 59. Tomorrow, occasional rain and drizzle, high 65. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
65 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Mike Scott informing me that Coco, the sign language gorilla, has passed away.
Coco died? Is Arambe still dead?
Arambe's still dead, yeah. How
A
about...
moment of silence for Coco.
He was a sign language gorilla. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
How did he die? Somebody jump in the pit again?
He was 46 years old.
40's the new 30. I mean...
Tell you, boy, it really makes some people around here think about their own mortality.
High cholesterol level? Was that it?
You know.
AFib? What do we have? Cancer?
Yesterday, President Trump rallied the faithful in Duluth, Minnesota, and talked about this executive order he had signed earlier in the day, reversing course on the family separation policy at the border.
So the Democrats want open borders. Let everybody come in. Let everybody pour in. We don't care. Let them come in from the Middle East. Let them come in from all over the place. We don't care. We're not going to let it happen. And by the way, today I signed an executive order. We're going to keep families together, but the border is going to be just as tough as it's been. Democrats don't care about the impact of uncontrolled migration on your communities, your schools, your hospitals, your jobs, or your safety. Democrats put illegal immigrants before they put American citizens. What the hell is going on?
Is Trump right to lodge that criticism of Democrats, and is he right, more politically speaking, to move beyond the family separation policy, even though it's a cave? It's a capitulation. That's what it is, the signing of that executive order. But is he right to move on beyond that and get to the politics of it, casting himself, again, as he did as a candidate, as a law and order, serious about border security guy against the open border Democrats with an eye towards November in a state that he narrowly lost in 2016 and where there's some competitive congressional races? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
Were you surprised that he had this huge reversal? Because he seemed pretty steadfast that he was going to keep this policy going. And then as more and more images came out, there's audio of people, kids crying, Mama, Mama, Papa. And then you had pressure from Ivanka and Melania.
And images that actually had nothing to do even with family separation.
Yeah, some of them didn't. CNN has a fascinating article about this one picture that went viral. You had every celebrity in the world retweeting it. It was a picture of a kid in a cage crying. Well, that was from 2010, and that was a cage that they brought out themselves onto a plaza in Dallas to protest families that were possibly being separated back in 2010.
Oh, so
when President Obama was in charge.
Imagine, so it did happen back then.
And the kid was in the cage for 30 seconds, and then there's another picture of the kid outside the cage. He voluntarily went in there, and he saw his mom, and he was in there for literally 30 seconds.
Well, this is why Abraham Lincoln famously said, don't believe everything you read on the internet. George in Libertyville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, guys, good morning. He is absolutely correct for playing this as a political card. I mean, what party is playing this? It's all they have. I mean, you know, look, this is like the soup du jour of hysteria. I mean, we haven't heard anything about Russia. Where's Stormy Daniels in Chicago other than getting kicked out of the Admiral? All right, so this is, I can only hope to see what next week hysteria is going to be.
What about, though, the hysteria that induced him to capitulate on the substance of the matter?
I can understand where the guy's coming from, and I think it was more of a Band-Aid on his part to at least quell. I mean, I understand. I understand people's criticism of him. I mean, Walsh went crazy on him last night, but I agree with what he did, and at the same time, even the Republicans seem to run every time that there's a little bit of
well, I know, but isn't he supposed to be different?
I totally agree, Dan. But on this one, I can hear what you're saying, and yet I understand what he did.
But it wasn't just in our country. George. I mean, listen to what Theresa May had to say.
The pictures of children being held in what appear to be cages are deeply disturbing. This is wrong.
I mean, our allies came down on us, too, for
who
I'm just saying the
cares?
world was watching. It wasn't just
Who
Americans.
cares?
Well,
Teresa
and I care too about the children that
Give me
are
a
in
break.
17 different states, because part of this executive order, Dan, doesn't. It's the onus is on the parents to find their children, and the problem is that some of these children are 9 months old that were sent to New York, and they're not going to know who their parents are. Hopefully, their parents will know who they are. You know where they are, because there's a mom in Seattle. I'm not kidding you. A mom in Seattle, and her son is in New York. How the heck did that happen? And Mayor de Blasio, he didn't even know about. We have some kids here in Chicago. Here's Mayor de Blasio.
A number of kids have come with lice, have come with bed bugs, come with chicken pox.
And here's Donna Abbott. She's in Michigan, and she has 81 kids in Michigan.
We're seeing somewhere between 2 weeks to a month for us to make contact with a parent and begin to set up contact with the child.
So this obviously is not going to be a quick fix, because many agencies are involved in this. And Mayor de Blasio didn't even know that 276 kids are in his city. So, I mean, it's not. I know. I'm glad the executive order was signed. I knew that this was coming, because I don't think he had a choice. His back was up against the wall, but it's going to take a while to reunite all these families. There's 2,362 kids out there. So I don't think it's far from over. Okay, I know I'm boring.
Is it all out?
Well,
Is it all out?
Did you know that there's people in Seattle and their kids are in New York? How are you going to reunite them? Because now you have United American and Frontier saying, we're not going to help out. Government, don't buy seats on our plane, because we don't want to have anything to do with this. Looks like we're going on the Amtrak.
That's on me. It's on me to reunite families. Is that what it is?
No, the onus is on the parents. The parents have to pay for it somehow. With what? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll walk there, hitchhike.
Let's all have a good cry about it, because that's public policy making. Chuck Schumer telling reporters yesterday, there's so many obstacles to legislation. When the president can do this with his own pen, it makes no sense. Legislation is not the way to go here when it's so easy for the president to sign it. So you have the Pagliacci, the Senate, who knows how to make a good cry for a camera, the Senate minority leader, ceding congressional power in this realm. Legislation not the way to go. Hey, you do it. Well, there's legislation pending in the House.
Yeah, and they're going to vote on it today.
There's a Cruz legislative initiative that was introduced in the Senate. Legislation could be the way to go, but Democrats aren't interested. Democrats are interested in sob stories and using other human beings as mascots as the means to their political power.
But the moderate GOP bill sounds great. I mean, here it is. Gives Dreamers eventual path to citizenship. Gives Trump $25 billion for his border security wall that he wants. And it revises the Goodlatte provision to address family separation. I mean, what's not to love? Why aren't Democrats jumping on board?
So here's what I'm confused about, and David French makes this point about what Chuck Schumer said. Wait a second. Trump is Hitler. Trump is Hitler. So Trump should be the party that we entrust to fix this. Chuck Schumer and his colleagues tweeting out images of Nazi concentration camps and Japanese internment camps, and Trump is the villain in this story, and yet I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm only the Senate minority leader with lawmaking power. I want the president to fix it. Wait, you want Hitler to fix? This is what Trump wants. I'm having trouble following the logic of the left's position. The guy is Hitler, Pol Pot, Stalin, but you want him to do your policy making for you. It's a bit confusing. So which is it? And to me, rather than capitulating to the left, as I understand Republicans want to do, and Trump did in this case, make the case. The only way you move people is by making arguments in the face of the mob. You capitulate to mob, you get mobocracy. You capitulate to sentimental barbarians, and that's what Rachel Maddow is. That's what Chuck Schumer is. They are sophisticated barbarians. They get all Earl Scheibed up to go on TV or the well of the Senate and got their degrees. They speak of the English well, and they're good at the sophistry, but they're barbarians. So flip the script on them rather than capitulating, because what capitulation gets is more of the same.
And you're already getting that. You think Trump is receiving plaudits from Democrats for signing this executive order?
Heck no.
Which just gets us back to the catch and release. Do we care about the substance? This just gets us back to the catch and release paradigm. John in Barrington, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. John in Barrington is no longer on Chicago's Morning Answer.
He was for a half a second.
Deborah in Arlington Heights.
Good morning. This just absolutely infuriates me. First of all, how about the people standing in line trying to do this through the proper legal channels? Why are you splitting up your family and endangering the lives of your children by sneaking over the border? If I go to Disney World and I can't afford it and I hop the fence with my family, am I allowed to stay with no consequences? What are we doing? Where did we go wrong where we're confusing coming here legally through the proper legal channels and enabling people? The Democrats don't want to solve this because if they do, and they do make an agreement, then it would be waving sort of a white flag that we can agree on something. They don't want that. Slander, shame, silence, that is their modus operandi.
Thanks for the call, Deborah. Use, abuse, and discard. That's Burgess Owens' description of what the left does with people. That's what they're doing here. All their hand-wringing about the kids notwithstanding. Mark in Bartlett, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan and Amy, I really love your show, and I want to thank you guys for providing so much information to all of us out here. I agree with you totally, Dan, on the fact that it was capitulation. But when you have Laura Bush out there, and you have Theresa May out there, and you have the public sentiment clearly being won over by this campaign on the left, what would you have Donald Trump have done? I heard you said about flipping the script, but when the message isn't carried by the mainstream media, how do you do that?
Whatever message the president delivers is carried by everybody. I mean, he doesn't have a platform. Everybody didn't cover his rally in Duluth. Everybody didn't cover the signing of the executive order. He's the president of the United States. Everybody is listening to what he has to say on every single topic with every single tweet. He doesn't have a platform? Of course he does. Laura Bush and Theresa May and whoever else, these are the same people that he ran against as a candidate. What does he care what they think? Isn't that the value proposition of Trump? You know?
Well, it is, but I guess I would ask with the fact that he speaks great when he's reading from the script. I guess he needs better script writers. Is that what he needs so he can get that message out? And
sometimes,
yeah,
sometimes, yeah.
Executive order.
Thanks for the call, Mark. Yeah, sometimes he does, but
who got to him was Ivanka and Melania. That's who got to him. He even said so yesterday.
Yeah, he's being respectful to his wife and his daughter. I understand that. Bill on the north side.
Yeah. First of all, I'm against the fact that he folded on it, but what a better babysitter for a backpack full of marijuana. You first go there, let this government take care of your kid. You know it's going to be safe, fed, and housed. You go get kicked out and start hustling back with the bundles of marijuana, knowing that your kids are safe over there. There's not a parent that I know that would let their kid be taken away by some other country, then get kicked, knowing that it's going to happen, and still do it. The culture is the problem. The other thing is if they get caught, they should be fingerprinted and said, now that you violated, you can never come here, even legally. You are now out. You're off the list. And the same with the kids. If they print their kids and said, if you bring your kid in here and we print them later in life, he cannot come here or she cannot come. You have to put deterrence. There is no deterrence for them at all. They can do whatever. They just come here and do whatever they want. They get kicked out. They come back. There's history shows 5 times felons coming back and forth. They have to stop, and they have to stop illegal immigration. It's ruining our country, and
they
you
are
can tell
putting
by all the people that are calling in.
Yeah,
Thanks
they
for
are
the call,
putting.
Bill.
They are putting electronic monitors on some people that they've released with other family members to make sure they don't come back in.
Trump asked the question, people coming here illegally are placed ahead of the rights and interests of American citizens. He asked that question, and he said, what the hell's going on? He asked that question rhetorically in Minnesota. Right, what the hell's going on? One of his main one of the main bases of his election was to address exactly that. And we're now 2.5 years in, and or wait, no, I'm sorry, 1.5 years in, and we're still sort of running in place, and he seems to be back down, at least initially. Maybe this is just one skirmish in the war, political war here, policy war, but he was backed down in this one by the minority party, Democrats. It's not particularly encouraging that something substantial is going to get done on these larger issues. And what about not just the interests of Americans, but the interests of those who are trying to become Americans or get some permanent legal status here through the processes that are provided while we try and hash out a pathway to a better immigration legal regime in this country? What about that? The people who play by the rules get fleeced by a government they finance. I'm tired of it. They're tired of it. And you know what it does? All of these preening virtue signalers of the left and some in the Republican Party too. It just it shrinks opportunity because you put people back in a corner where they're just unwilling to do things they would otherwise be willing to do as it pertains to things like welcoming new people into this country, because you're so insulting and disrespectful and dismissive of their interests, economic and security. So, basically, the hell with you. I'm not willing to even have a conversation about it until you do something that resembles anything that you've promised on this topic area. It's making people less welcoming, less open to sensible immigration policy. And that's the and that's largely the responsibility of the left. And I wish the immigrant and the new American communities would understand that. You have Republicans who are pro-immigration, pro-legal immigration, and you're creating a supermajority of Americans, the left is, as well as the surrender Republicans, creating a supermajority of Americans who are unwilling to engage substantively on the topic because of what I just said. You're so dismissive of their economic and security interests.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I went to have my blood test done a few weeks ago, and I met the doctor, and he was really encouraged by my progress, and I showed him what I was taking, and he started looking at all the ingredients, and he said, I'm really impressed with the shiitake mushroom. And he said, this stuff, it could clean out your arteries. And I'm like, oh, wow. He said, you may be onto something here. And he said, you just keep that up, and maybe you can start cutting back on your medication. And he says, you're helping your health by doing that. And I'm like, whoa, endorsement by the doctor.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing mortgage? Then you need to do what I did and call Team Hochberg. Team Hochberg is sponsoring Float 82 in this Sunday's Pride Parade in Chicago. Team Hochberg will be distributing orange frisbees, blue squeeze balls, and pearl beaded necklaces. That's why we got that boxed in. Those lucky enough to secure a Team Hochberg orange frisbee, blue ball, or pearl necklace can apply it towards a $400 closing cost credit on your next loan with Team Hochberg. You can collect all the frisbees, balls, and necklaces you like, but the closing cost credit is capped at $400 per transaction. In addition to sponsoring a float in the Pride Parade, Team Hochberg sponsors Gilda's Club Float in the Southside Irish Day Parade, as well as a number of local organizations which support veterans, first responders, and pediatric cancer. If you need a mortgage team, call Team Hochberg now at 312-751-1333. Team Hochberg helped me and thousands of AM 560 listeners, but they can't help you if you don't call. 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358, NMLS 19186.
I've been suffering from depression for about 45 years.
I've probably been on 5 to 6 different antidepressants, and even when they did work, there was that underlying feeling of depression, and it would never go away. Just call one of the treatment centers and just talk to the psychiatrist or doctor, and you'll be on your way. I'm Christy. I'm a wife and a mother and a real estate broker, and I no longer suffer from depression.
HPR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee offer TMS therapy. In just a few weeks, you can change your life, and it's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare. You can make real progress in the battle with depression, cure or remission. Get a free consultation. 800-604-0208. 800-604-0208. HPR Centers. Go to endmydepression.com. End your depression.
You know your old windows are costing a pretty penny in energy costs, and they don't look that great either. But finding the right company for doors and windows is confusing. Options, choices, pushy salespeople. Seems everyone wants to sell and install doors and windows. But you want someone who specializes, not a jack of all trades. The specialty at Next Door & Window is doors and windows. It's right in their name. You want only the best in quality and looks. Next Door & Window delivers with the largest selection of wood-clad vinyl and fiberglass products and custom stains and paints for a look and match that no one else can offer. Right now, get 33% off installation when you schedule a free quote by June 30th. Next Door & Window has showrooms in Arlington Heights, Burr Ridge, and Naperville. Online at nextdoorandwindow.com. But you want to call now to schedule your free quote. Hurry and do it before June 30th. Call 630-590-1370. That's 630-590-1370.
Next Door & Window, thousands of options, one perfect fit.
Your local 1-hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
AM 560, The Answer.
Just quickly, it's summer. It's College World Series. It's time for family.
Omaha, Nebraska. They have it every year.
Yeah, sure, of course. Warren Buffett's there, I'm sure. Family and sacrifice. Here's a story of family and sacrifice about how one dad got to see his kid play in the College World Series.
Not dampen the spirits for the fans of this morning's College World Series game.
The sacrifices that we personally made to be here are incredible. My wife's boyfriend sold his prosthetic leg on Craigslist to afford me the opportunity to be here, but they get alone time, and I get a chance to be in Omaha.
It's a pretty good trade-off. It's a wonderful story.
Wow. You think it's true? It's true to him. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll pick up our discussion of Trump's surrender on immigration, at least temporarily, with Ed Morrissey from hotair.com at 7:37.
And later, our favorite Rick Santelli will be here. But first, let's get back into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Flash flood watch is up for a good chunk of north central and northeast Illinois. That includes Cook, DuPage, Kane, Kendall, Lake McHenry, and Will counties through Friday morning. The wife of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is being charged with fraud. Sarah Netanyahu was indicted in Jerusalem today for alleged fraud involving about $100,000 worth of meal expenses at the Prime Minister's residence. House Speaker Paul Ryan says the House will vote later today on a bill to keep immigrant families together. The House is also expected to vote on broader immigration issues. However, it's still unclear what's happening to children separated from their illegal immigrant parents at the southern border. Virginia Democrat Senator Tim Kaine is looking for some clarification.
If they're not going to lift a finger to reunite these kids with their families, then the American public needs to stay outraged until they do. This is a humanitarian atrocity that this administration created.
However, President Trump signed an executive order yesterday that allows children to remain with their parents in illegal immigrant detention centers as their cases are legally played out. There are reports the Trump administration will plan to propose to combine the Departments of Energy and Labor. Merger could happen later today. It involves Congress down the line. A missile test site that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un had promised to dismantle has been identified. The president saying after the Singapore summit, Kim had agreed to dismantle the satellite launching ground in Sohae, a major facility that's been used for testing long-range ballistic missiles. One woman is dead, 3 others hurt after a reported stolen vehicle sped away from police and crashed into a taxi on Chicago's near North Side overnight. Chicago police officer Robert Rialmo may be back on the stand again today. Yesterday, he said he had no choice but to shoot Quintonio LeGrier, testifying for a second day in the wrongful death lawsuit brought by the LeGrier family. The officer demonstrated how LeGrier was swinging an aluminum bat at him in front of the jury. Cubs blanked the Dodgers 4-0 at Wrigley Field. Indians clobbered the White Sox 12-zip. NBA draft tonight. For now, the Bulls still retain the 7th and 22nd pick overall in the first round. The news service of Napa this month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores. A 3-pack of Peak microfiber cloths are just $1.99. Plus, with each purchase, Napa will make a donation to the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund. That's Napa know-how while supplies last. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
I am a Trump supporter.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Now, I am a Trump supporter who will freely criticize the president when I think he's done wrong. And done wrong can be sending out a stupid tweet, raising taxes, or supporting amnesty. Can be anything. It's the issues to me. And when President Trump does something that does not advance those issues, I'll call him out on it.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Progressive makes it easy to compare quotes and get a great rate with the new Home Quote Explorer, only at Progressive.com.
What if you could enjoy total peace of mind when it comes to home security? What if the best technology came from a local company who puts the customer's needs first? Alarm Detection Systems is the right choice for an alarm system with complete control from your phone or tablet. Know when your children arrive home from school. View live streaming video. Check up on your pets. Receive alerts for extreme temperatures. Know if leaks or floods have been detected. Get real-time text alerts sent to your phone. Family-owned and operated since 1968, Alarm Detection Systems understands that nothing is more important than the safety of your family. Your security system will be monitored by our central station in Aurora, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Our on-site security consultation is always free. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6322. That's 630-844-6322. Alarm license number 127000143.
7:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. 8094 westbound traffic is heavy from Calumet Avenue to the Bishop Ford Freeway. Eden's 21 minutes, like Cook to Montrose, outbound 35. Kennedy, 44 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. No savings in the Express, outbound it's 40 minutes. The Eisenhower, 54 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 40. Stevenson, 52 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38. Ryan, 32 minutes, 95 to downtown. Northbound Tri-State delays. 111th to the Hinsdale Oasis, the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Reagan Tollway, stop and go Randall to Viola. Veterans Memorial, Pockets from 127th, St. Charles, traffic service of Accountemps. Finding highly skilled accounting and finance professionals can be a challenge. Accountemps can help. With Accountemps' extensive network of accounting and finance contractors, you can be sure to find the right person for your exact hiring needs. Visit Accountemps.com to learn more. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, a cooler day ahead, some heavy thunderstorms and some possible flash flooding, a high of 68. Currently 65. Next news coming up at 8. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Empowered Investing, the show dedicated to investors. Saturdays at noon on AM 560, The Answer.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, a lot of efforts to publicly shame President Trump and members of the administration. His Homeland Security Secretary, Kristen Nielsen, chased out of a restaurant by protesters.
Mexican restaurant. It was a high-end Washington, D.C. Mexican restaurant.
Okay.
Well, she was, mid-meal when they came in there. Did you see the video? It's not good. I felt bad for her. She needs protection.
Yeah. Well, Trump is good at giving a little bit of the public shaming, too. He did that at his rally in Duluth to a certain protester he singled out.
It's happening. We have a single protester. There he goes. Goodbye, darling. Goodbye, darling.
Bye, honey. It's a dude, right?
It's a dude with a man bun.
So we have a single
sort
protester.
of a dude, then.
He's going home to his mom. Say hello to mommy.
Oh, gosh.
And tomorrow, the fake news will say tomorrow, massive protests at the Trump rally. One person. Massive protests. Ay, ay, ay.
Oh,
no, and then later,
good
then he
stuff.
said later that guy should get a haircut because he asked you about their gender. Because he had a man bun, and I loathe man buns because you know what man buns are? They're too lazy to wash their long hair, so they throw it up in a bun. They're stealing all of our secrets.
Yeah. All right. Well, for more on the substance of this, I don't know what his position on man buns is, but we'll find out. This is Ed Morrissey. He's a senior editor for HotAir.com, columnist for the week. Ed, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. And as far as my position on man buns, it's a complete and deep envy that anybody can actually grow one. I don't have that kind of hair anymore. Sorry.
I'm sorry to hear
Follically
that.
challenged. It's all right.
Yeah.
Darn.
Where's the rest of Ed? Okay, Ed. What about on the substance of Trump's decision to sign that executive order? He wasn't inclined to move in that direction just a couple of days earlier.
Yeah, well, obviously this is something that a lot of political pressure on him to act here, and I think it's in concert with what's going on in the House. Paul Ryan pledged that they were going to produce a bill which would allow family detentions and set aside some money for that purpose. And I think that that's really what it's going to take, because I'm not necessarily convinced that an EO is going to work in this instance, but I think Trump felt that he had to do something to take some of the political heat off of himself and some of his political allies.
Yeah, I mean, he was under fire politically and personally because Ivanka and Melania wanted him to change his ways. But don't we have to build these family detention centers? I mean, logistically, I just don't understand how this is going to work.
Right. Well, I mean, they're in the middle of building other detention centers, and those could probably be repurposed for family detention centers. I mean, we've seen articles in the media about how they're using old Walmarts to build these detention centers or dormitories for both for adults and for kids. And so my guess is that what they'll do in the immediate time frame is to turn one of those around into a family detention center so they can start putting new cases into there. But I mean, this is it's going to take an act of Congress. They're going to have to pass a statute that's going to allow for this, because there are statutes that are specifically in place to prevent what Trump wants to happen now.
How much interest is there with House and Senate Republicans in continuing to prosecute the case in the way that President Trump is against Democrats on illegal immigration, on border security? Or is it more the case that sort of the center of gravity in the two caucuses is to sort of work out some half-baked compromise and move this off the agenda for the fall?
Well, I don't think the Democratic Party is interested in creating a compromise on this. I think they want to fight this in the fall. And I don't think some members of the Republican Party are interested in a compromise before the midterm elections, because they have to go back and face voters who are very hard line on immigration. And apart from the family separation, which was created by this policy, which was probably avoidable if they had prepared a little bit better for it, the actual policy of hardline enforcement at the border is pretty popular. The recent poll, I believe it was from CBS News, shows, and YouGov, shows that while the family separation thing is deeply unpopular, the zero tolerance enforcement at the border has a plurality of support. And so I think that that's where Republicans are going to be, and I think that the Democrats are going to argue on the family separation issue. And they may try to slow down or obstruct any bill that's going through Congress that alleviates it.
So the moderate GOP bill allows Dreamers' eventual path to citizenship. You'd think that the Democrats would be all over that. Is there a chance that this could pass, though, in the House and not in the Senate?
I think it's going to be interesting to see whether it passes in the House at all. I know that they're going to have the votes on it this afternoon, but you saw Mark Meadows yesterday getting into an argument with Paul Ryan over the structure of these two bills that are going to go through here today, and I don't know that you're going to get enough Republican votes for this to pass, and I don't know that Democrats really want this to go through. Ted Cruz has also said this is not the time for a broader immigration reform. He's sponsoring a bill that deals specifically and only with the family separation issue. But I believe what he told Roll Call was that he'd been around Washington a long time, seen a lot of idiocy. But this trying to pass a comprehensive immigration reform bill 4 months before a midterm was an idiocy he had not yet seen. So I don't think that you're going to see that get through the Senate either way.
Is that why President Trump has sort of taken a Pontius Pilate position on the competing bills rather than arguing for one over the other? He expects that there's not going to be anything coming out of Congress, and so don't unnecessarily antagonize people and just come over the top with your own discourse on the topic.
Well, it's interesting because he originally came out and said that he wasn't going to sign either one of those bills, and apparently he was under the impression that the bills that were coming through were something other than what they are, that they were some sort of Democratic bill, or I'm not exactly sure what the confusion was. But initially he told, he said on air that he wouldn't sign either one of them. And so White House had to reverse itself, and Donald Trump has been arguing ever since that he'd sign either one of them.
Right.
Whatever one they pass it, he would sign. So yeah, he's not getting involved in the infighting, but there's been a lot of confusion on this as to what the White House position is actually going to be. I'm not necessarily sure it's going to impact the votes on the floor. I think that that's going to be more driven by local concerns of the individual members. But I frankly, I don't expect either one of these things to pass.
Wow. And then what now? I mean, the migrant children have been sent to 17 different states. You have 200 in New York. And I saw yesterday on Nightly News, you have a mother in Seattle and her son's in New York. So how are we going to reunite these families? Or not we? How are the onus lies on them?
That's a great question. The order yesterday doesn't say anything about reunifying in already extant cases. I think the White House came out later and said that they weren't going to grandfather this backwards to children and parents that had already been separated. So those cases have to get processed before anything happens with the children. I don't think you're going to see any motion on that. I think this one of these policy changes that's really only going to impact cases going forward. And so I think we're going to be unwinding those cases, Amy, for quite some time.
John Gabriel over at Ricochet had a fun column the other day about media hype, and this is obviously another issue in which the media is facilitating, if not doing the work themselves, anyone who wants to call or imply that Trump is a Nazi, that Republicans are essentially resurrecting Nazi-style concentration camps, Japanese-style internment camps. And Gabriel suggests that just in the last 60 days, he just kind of gives a rundown of all of the various issues from Kim Jong-un to Canada to gun control to moving the U.S. Embassy in Israel to Jerusalem, where the imminent result was going to be nuclear war. And all of that hysteria sort of desensitizes the public to the customary hysteria and works in Trump's favor. Do you think that's true, number one, and this becomes just another example of what Gabriel is talking about?
Well, I think John's right about that. I think that this level of hysteria that keeps cropping up, which eventually gets punctured when you find out that these are not new outcomes, right? These are the same types of outcomes that were taking place in the Obama administration as well, although not on the same scale. And I'll get back to that in a second. But they were detaining children for weeks and months at a time as a deterrent in 2014 and 2015. The cages that were initially published as Trump's horrid treatment of children were actually pictures from 2014, when that's what they were doing with children during the Obama administration. And yeah, the media has been terrible about this. But the other part of that too is that these are issues that the Trump administration knew were going to come up and didn't prepare themselves for political onslaught. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to realize that the media doesn't like Donald Trump and is going to seize on things like this as they come up and blow them out of proportion. And then the trick is then to avoid giving them that type of material to do that with. And there was ample opportunity here. They've had a year prior to imposing the zero tolerance policy at the border, which I think is a good idea. They had a year to deal with trying to eliminate those consequences as much as they possibly could. And you have people on the record like John Kelly who were basically saying that that was almost a desired effect of this as a deterrent. I think that there is certainly enough blame and incompetence to go around on this.
He is Ed Morrissey, senior editor for HotAir.com and columnist for The Week. Ed, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, we all wish for more Sergeant Stephen Wheels. We'll explain. But first, here's your forecast. It's going to be cooler. Kind of a yucky day for what's supposed to be the longest day of the year, because we're going to have cloud coverage, heavy rain, thunderstorms, watch for flooding, a high of only 68 degrees. Good day to see a movie, I guess. Tonight, some rain, heavy rain at times, thunderstorms, watch for flooding, a low of 59. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. A sloppy mess on the roadways. Here's Jim Telemonte.
This Amy southbound Tri-State jammed now from the Adams Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound delays continue 111th 31st after the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Reagan Tollway jammed Orchard to Eola. Veterans Memorial southbound Army Trail to Roosevelt. Northbound 127th to International Parkway and then out to St. Charles. Heavy on eastbound I-80 now, LaGrange Road to Harlem. Eden's 21 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 35, Kennedy 45 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Eisenhower, 55 minutes, 390 to the surface. Stevenson, now an hour and 20 minutes, 355 to the drive. Ryan, 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, if you're a business owner, you have experienced your fair share of emergencies, and you know they always happen at the worst time. Wouldn't it be nice to have someone on call 24/7, someone who's got your back to help for whatever may come up? It's not possible for every emergency, but it is available for your business's IT and computer systems. With a support agreement from our locally owned and operated Turnkey IT, they'll keep your computer systems online and running with no worries. If an emergency does pop up, Turnkey IT is prompt and responsive without charging an enormous after-hours rate. The certified pros at Turnkey IT proactively keep your business computer systems online with remote and on-site support. And right now, for a limited time, you can save up to $500 a month on a support contract plus unlimited cloud backup at no cost. Enjoy the secure feeling of your network being supported by Turnkey IT 24/7. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed, and I'm feeling far better.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Gentlemen, June is Men's Health Month. Do you know your numbers? You may know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone and prostate numbers? I know mine. I went to Low T Center. They make it quick and easy. You'll know your results in about 20 minutes. At Low T Center, most health insurance is accepted. They'll even verify your insurance for you. Low T Center's physicians have been exclusively diagnosing and treating men for low testosterone for years. And in honor of Men's Health Month, Low T Center is offering a special testosterone and prostate level test for just $50. Take advantage of this offer, especially if you haven't met your deductible yet, or have a high copay, or simply don't have insurance. If you've noticed a decline in energy or motivation, you may have low testosterone. Low T makes you feel tired and grumpy. It can raise your cholesterol and cause weight gain. Low T Center's experienced medical staff will educate you on the benefits and risks of testosterone replacement. When it comes to your health and daily quality of life, do what I did. Get your numbers checked. You owe it to yourself. Call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Proft sent you. The number again, 312-239-3427. Or go to lowtcenter.com for more information. That's lowtcenter.com.
If you did not purchase health insurance coverage during the 2017 open enrollment, I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan at any time during the year. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent producer for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other health insurance carriers. If you are between the ages of 19 and 64, you are automatically paying for maternity coverage whether you want the coverage or not. If you are a non-smoking 50-year-old male or female living in the city of Chicago, the monthly premium rate for a 100% tax-deductible health savings account PPO plan would be $590 per month. But I can show you how to eliminate the mandatory maternity benefit and lower your monthly premiums down to approximately $240 per month. To see if you qualify or for more information, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
Hey, Chicagoland, Dan Proft here. I'm here with my guy, Ryan Kelly, at thehomeloanexpert.com. He's one of us, and Ryan just gets it. People are looking to buy a home right now. What do they do?
Oh, it's a great question, and it's a tight real estate market right now. I think most people know that, especially if you're actively looking to buy a house. Maybe you're on Zillow, Realtor.com, you got the apps on your phone, you're stalking them at work, and you're waiting for that right house to hit the market. Well, when it does, you better be pre-approved, and you better be pre-approved by a strong mortgage lender like the Home Loan Expert team. If you think you're the only one watching those same neighborhoods and watching those same streets, you're dead wrong. There's a lot of people out there waiting and watching. And when that house hits the market, boom, goes under contract fast. Get pre-approved today at thehomeloanexpert.com, and you'll give yourself a big advantage when you do find that house. Go in there, get in there with your agent. You like it, write an offer, throw the pre-approval on the table. You should get an accepted contract. I'm Ryan Kelly, the Home Loan Expert. No one makes buying a home easier. Get pre-approved at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC.
The warmth of sun is here for you to enjoy the great outdoors. Feel like an instant getaway with a beach vibe and fun for the entire family? There's a place nearby you're going to want to check out. Bridges Waterside Grill and Bridge Inn in Michigan City, Indiana. Bridge Inn is the perfect place for your Lake Michigan escape. Amazing attractions like the Uptown Arts District, boutique shopping, beaches, the zoo, casino, and museums are all in walking distance. Bridge Inn offers year-round lodging, but you can take in the sunshine at the Bridges Waterside Grill through September. Grab a cocktail and dine on fish tacos, burgers, and wraps with lots of vegetarian and seafood options. Book one of 14 suites at Bridge Inn before summer sells out. Bridges is located near the rotating train bridge on the Trail Creek waterfront in the heart of Michigan City. Don't visit Michigan City without stopping by the Bridge Inn and Bridges Waterside Grill. For more info and availability, visit bridgeinnmc.com. That's bridgeinnmc.com.
Interested in trading as a way to generate extra monthly income? Listen up. Before you sign up for some garbage program or awkward in-person seminar, you really need to hear about the online trader program that everyone's talking about. This is the program that allows you to get your account funded with someone else's money. That's right. Apiary Fund will gladly put up to $100,000 of their money into your trading account. And the best part, you get to keep 85% of the profits without putting in a dime of your own money. Apiary Fund and this program are growing like crazy. As a special offer, Apiary Fund is allowing our listeners to get started for free. Just call 800-959-4526 and leave us your email address, and we will send you all the exciting details of how to trade Apiary Fund's money and not your own. Call 800-959-4526 and leave your email address on the voicemail. Your free report will be sent right away. 800-959-4526. That's 800-959-4526.
AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And Senator Mark Kirk taught me that life is all about who you love and who loves you back, or what loves you back. So this story from Kansas man Ryan Malik, 23, charged with exposing himself with the intent of arousing or gratifying sexual desires. You see, young Ryan made repeated attempts to have sex with the tailpipe of a parked car.
Come on. Shut up. You're kidding me.
Local cops responding to a 911 call about a man beneath a vehicle discovered Malik endeavoring to place his penis into the tailpipe of a car parked outside an apartment complex.
Please don't tell me there's pictures of this.
Malik was oblivious, according to police, when initially contacted by police. Well, sure, he was.
Well, was he in love with the tailpipe? Or maybe he just did really well in auto shop in high school.
Yeah.
Was he drunk?
I'm glad you asked. His blood alcohol content was later measured at more than 4 times the legal limit.
All right.
And as police tried to interrupt the romance,
oh my gosh, stop it.
He continued to try to have sex with the tailpipe in the presence of the officers. Hey, give me some space here.
God, I hate to know what he does with his home computer.
Hey, come on. Do a brother a solid over here, officer.
Can I have some space? Hey. Is this illegal?
The criminal complaint lists 6 witnesses. A crowd was gathering, apparently, who reportedly saw Malik's
Dear Lord,
efforts to make love to this vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully he won't do it again, and he's been thoroughly embarrassed.
Maybe he can star in a remake of Herbie the Love Bug.
Or Cars. Cars 4. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We talked to the Godfather, yes, CNBC's Rick Santelli, and asked him if the Trump-Kudlow strategy of brinkmanship on trade to lower tariffs is working. German automakers blinked. That's at 8:08.
But first, here's Mike Scott.
The father of a teen shooting victim left unattended speaks out. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
We should be changing our laws and building the wall. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump just tweeted the morning after rallying his base in Duluth, Minnesota.
Democrats put illegal immigrants before they put American citizens. What the hell is going on?
That was hours after he signed an executive order to stop separating kids from parents. He still wants prosecuted for coming here illegally, though it's not clear if the administration can get around a ruling that children can't be detained for more than 20 days.
No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here.
That was what they chanted in a protest outside the rally last night.
We're a nation of immigrants. We should be welcoming of immigrants, refugees, people that are trying to find a home.
Well, Democrats worry there's no process for reuniting kids and parents already separated. Republicans are working on a more permanent fix.
None of this reflects well on Congress or the administration in terms of our inability to solve the problem. So we need to step up and do our job.
GOP Senator John Cornyn. House Republicans plan to vote on 2 separate bills today on immigration reform, but Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer says there's almost zero chance either can become law. The president's considering reorganizing some of the government. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
As part of a broader reorganization of the federal government, the White House is reportedly set to propose merging the Labor and Education departments. Streamlining the executive branch has been a long-time conservative goal. The Education Department is already one of the smallest government agencies, employing just 3,900 people, and its workforce has shrunk by more than 10% since President Trump took office. The proposed changes would still require approval from Congress, but it isn't clear that lawmakers have the appetite to undertake such a major reorganization. Dave?
John, security is tightening at Florida's busiest airport. Orlando will be the first in the nation to require a face scan of passengers on all arriving and departing international flights. Privacy advocates worry about the implications. Fox News, fair and balanced.
66 degrees, cloudy skies, very gray this morning, and some heavy rain falling across the area, up to the point now that in some spots, like Evergreen Park, we're seeing over an inch per hour fall, and that is resulting in a flash flood watch for portions of north central and northeast Illinois, Cook, DuPage, Grundy, Kane, Kendall, Lake, McHenry, and Will counties through Friday morning. Father of a teen shooting victim left unattended by Chicago paramedics earlier this week is looking for answers following the death of his son. Speaking yesterday, Eric Carey says Chicago Fire Department dropped the ball.
It was too long to leave anybody laying in the middle of the street. They're not doctors. Their job was to come and get him and whatever, if they had to bandage him or give him medicine and get him to a hospital. That was their job.
A sheet was placed over the body of 17-year-old Aaron Carey after he and 5 others were shot at a party on the near West Side early Monday. He was on the street for nearly an hour before bystanders noticed him moving. Paramedics then rushed him to a nearby hospital. Chicago police officer Robert Rialmo says he had no other choice but to shoot Quintonio LeGrier. It was day 2 of testimony in the wrongful death suit brought by LeGrier's family. Rialmo even demonstrated how LeGrier swung the aluminum bat at him in front of the jury yesterday. Chicago sports, John Lester's 7 shutout innings. Cubs blanked the Dodgers 4-0 at Wrigley Field. Kyle Schwarber with a long home run. Indians clobber the White Sox 12-0 in Cleveland. Reynaldo Lopez with the loss. NBA draft tonight in Brooklyn. The Bulls still clinging to the number 7 pick overall and the number 22 pick overall in the first round. Longtime Cubs pitching coach Billy Connors is dead at the age of 76. 8:03 time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network. Here's Carol Zimmer.
From the Fox Business Network. Markets in the U.S. are on track to open lower as tensions about trade escalate. China is accusing the U.S. of trade abuses and threatening to use a combination of measures to combat President Trump's threats to slap tariffs on an additional $200 billion of Chinese imports. AT&T set to unveil a $15 a month video service. Watch TV will be offering a skinny bundle of channels to try and get back some of the millions of cord cutters who have dropped cable and satellite TV. And women have been making gains in the boardroom. In the first 5 months of this year, women accounted for 248 or 31% of new board directors. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Carol Zimmer.
It's 8:04 in Chicago. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Larry Elder Show.
The Larry Elder Show. The economy is doing well. Taxes, stock market, consumer optimism, and something that people on the left continue to underestimate about Trump and Trump's appeal. For the first time, a Republican has, in a full-throated way, gone after the left-wing media.
The Larry Elder Show, weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high-commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
It's 8:06. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Traffic's heavy with the rain. We're starting to see some delays at O'Hare as well. The Kennedy inbound delay starting at Montrose. It's an hour and 5 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 55 minutes from Montrose. 40 in the Express. Outbound 22 minutes to Montrose. 47 to the airport. Edens, 20 minutes like Cook to the junction, but outbound 40. Eisenhower, an hour and 2 minutes. 390 to downtown. Outbound an hour and 6 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 20 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 52 minutes. Ryan is 36 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford 37 minutes, 80-94 to the merge. Southbound Tri-State Jam from the Adams Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound 111th, 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Speeds are reduced on the Adams Tollway. Not seeing big delays there, but the Reagan and Veterans Memorial are very heavy. Traffic service of account temps. When you could use help closing your books, need additional staff, it's time to call account temps. They can provide you with bookkeepers and other accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis fast. Call today. Account temps, a Robert Half Company. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Flash flood watch in effect through tomorrow morning. Cooler day with rain, some heavy, and a thunderstorm. Again, watch for flooding, high 68. Tonight, periods of rain, some heavy with a thunderstorm. Watch for flooding with a low of 59. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 66. Next news at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And this news yesterday, CNBC reporting that German automakers proposing to end the EU's 10% import tax on U.S. cars. German automakers proposing an end to that tax, and they're in favor also of scrapping levies as part of a broader deal encompassing industrial goods, according to the Wall Street Journal. This partly engineered by Richard Grenell, U.S. ambassador to Germany, talking to executives at BMW, Volkswagen, Daimler. Now, there's a bit of a catch here. Europe also wants a 25% tax on imported pickup trucks, SUVs, and big vans scrapped, which is a tax that's been in place since LBJ, and of course that would be probably not as received nearly as well by U.S. automakers. So is this a good deal? Is this indicative of what Larry Kudlow said, that the hardline position on trade and trade deficits is really a play for a overall lower tariff environment, a more free trade environment? That's what this brinkmanship is about. For more on this and to help us answer that question, we're pleased to be joined by our friend, the Godfather. He's Rick Santelli, CNBC on-air editor. Rick, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Pleasure. Thanks, Dan.
So what about this proposal or the outlines of a proposal between the U.S. and Germany on reducing tariffs on cars going in both directions? Is that would be a good thing?
You know, I think it's a good thing, but I think it's a good thing in a little bit softer way. I do believe that it is the beginning of a compromise and a discussion with the goal to somehow, of course, remove barriers to trade, tariffs, and the like. But I also see that just on the surface, the car makers really don't have the authority to negotiate such an arrangement. The European Commission does, and the European Commission isn't necessarily on board. But I wouldn't take that so literally. I think there's parts moving here, and I think at the end of the line, the fact that there's been a bit of a blink on the German side really is the issue to focus on. And I do believe, whether it's Germany or ultimately China, and ultimately all the negotiations, I think this president may have used the wrong reason to get involved, the trade deficit, but I think everything else beyond that he's correct on, and we will see negotiate and take it a step farther, whether it's Europe or other countries outside of China and including China. As a group, their economies are starting to slow. This notion that in 2017 there was this phrase used by everybody, synchronized global growth, I think in hindsight was just the U.S. post the 2016 election had a euphoric pop. And I think that giant wake of optimism kind of dragged a lot of other economies in. And the analysts look at that and they say, ha-ha, the numbers, all the different ratios investors look at to look at share price and level of investments was a much greater opportunity in Europe. Well, I think that was true because really the opportunity wasn't there as much as they anticipate. It's always easier to look at a Johnny-come-lately as having a long stretch of track to catch up on. But in hindsight, it's the U.S. economy that's barreling through. And right now, we're still, by far, the first runner in the marathon, and we're starting to outdistance ourselves from the competition. And it's that same competition we're negotiating with on trade. I think that works to our advantage as well.
Now, sticking with China for a moment, Peter Navarro, the president's director of the National Trade Council and an assistant on trade manufacturing policy, he had an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal yesterday talking specifically about China and this ratcheting up of tariffs against China, talking about it in the context of defending against China's economic aggression, theft, both physical and cyber, as well as the making American companies accept technology transfers to gain access to the Chinese market. He argued that the 25% tariffs recently announced on $50 billion in China's exports are targeted at high-tech industries. These tariffs will form a critical line of defense against predatory trade practices China has used to the detriment of American industries. Do you see this as part of the overall strategy of getting to a lower tariff, more free trade environment, or is this just intended to be punitive to stop China's fraudulent and predatory conduct as so described?
In a way, all of the above, Dan. Listen, Peter Navarro doesn't get a lot of respect in the kind of conventional economic community. I personally have read his books in the past on China, as has the president. I think that's why he has this post. And boy, I'll tell you what, this is not an easy issue, but I happen to think that what China is doing in a long macro view will be detrimental, and it'll especially be detrimental should they take a superior position in technology, in IT. They have relationships with colleges and universities where they put seed money for various programs to study and create new products. They're very good at trying to come up with ways to be part of the development of what we do in the U.S. and bring it over to China. And I think this is a tough issue. I mean, just imagine, Dan, that you work at a company that has very high-tech secretive products, and you allow the competition to sit in your offices, go to your meetings. It's tough to have a trading partner in a global arrangement where everybody wants to be fair and have free trade. On the other hand, fierce competition. Back when China was allowed to be the type of partner allowed to be in the World Trade Organization, they were far behind. I mean, just think about the technology in your own households 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, how the world's changed. We need to update things to protect ourselves, and how we do that is very complicated.
Interest rates are rising. Do you think that's going to hurt the mortgage demand, and how high do you think this is going to go before we level off?
Amy, that's my favorite question. I think you get the prize. Listen, I've been dealing with interest rates and mortgage-related products and how banks and mortgage companies and mortgage originators deal with the whole process since 1980. And what I've found is there obviously is a correlation with rising rates and affordability and falling rates and affordability, but I personally think it's way overplayed. I know there's an analogy everybody brings up that's my age or, thereabouts. Hey, I remember my first house in the 80s. My interest rates were 15, 16, 14%, and it is true. Now,
18.4.
I understand that things change, but my point is it's not necessarily the level of rates, it's how quickly they change that makes a difference. If they start to move up slowly, I really don't think it's going to make a huge difference. And I think we're very lucky in a way because our economy cooking in Greece should push interest rates up faster. The fact is that other economies around the world, their economies aren't moving as much, and what makes it really interesting is in Europe and in Japan and some other parts of the world, they have negative interest rates as part of their monetary policy post the crisis, which was, by the way, 10 years ago. And that relationship has a relative value. In other words, investors look at our rates much higher than everybody else's, in some countries negative, where you actually don't get money. It costs you money to hold it in an institution. Constitution. It brings investors buying our products, which actually keeps a cap on how high and fast our interest rates will go.
He is Rick Santelli, the Godfather, on-air editor for CNBC. Rick, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Oh, thoroughly enjoyed it. Hope you guys ask me back.
Definitely.
Oh, we'd love to have you back. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
A soggy start to the first day of summer, that's for sure, and it's going to be cool, unseasonably cool for this time of year. A high only in the mid to upper 60s. Heavy thunderstorms, flooding today. Tonight, more of the same, heavy rain, thunderstorms. A low of 59. And for tomorrow, occasional rain and drizzle. Not good, folks. A high only of 65. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Traffic's not good either. Southbound Tri-State heavy from the Adams Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound 111th Street, 31st Street. The Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Reagan Tollway jammed Orchard to Yuma. Veterans Memorial. Southbound Harvey Trail to Roosevelt is jammed. Northbound I-55 to St. Charles. Delays on eastbound I-80, LaGrange Road to Harlem. Westbound 8094, Klein to Bishop Ford. Northbound 394 is heavy there as well. Eden's 20 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 40th. Kennedy, an hour and 5 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, much quicker in the Express. The Eyes at Howard, an hour and 2 minutes. 390 to downtown, outbound an hour and 6 minutes. Stevenson, an hour 20, 355 to the Drive. Bryan, 36 minutes, 95th to downtown. Everything's slowing down because of the rain. Jim Talamonte and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Northwest Side GOP Club wants to invite you to join them this evening. That's right, tonight, Thursday, the 21st, to gather.
What are we doing?
I'm going to tell you.
Well, I'm going to listen.
All right, ready?
Yes.
We're going to gather with Chicago area Republicans celebrating conservative values at the ill-advised, see what they did there, Conservative Collective and Banquet fundraiser. Join AM 560 morning co-host Dan Proft.
That guy?
I love his work.
I heard he's pretty cool, but sometimes a little edgy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a jagoff. As he shares the keynote speech and find out all the details at NWSGOP.com. NWSGOP.com.
I need to spend more time with you. I don't spend enough time with you.
Well,
here we go.
NWSGOP gets your tickets, and we'll see you tonight.
Dad, what are you doing?
Cramming for college.
I'm the one going to college.
Yeah, but we need to figure out how we're going to pay for it all.
Discover Student Loans.
Discover does student loans?
Yeah, they're one of the top student loan lenders in the country. It takes 15 minutes or less to apply, and there are no fees for the life of the loan. Best of all, I can earn cash rewards if I get good grades.
Really?
Yeah, we still have time to apply and get a great rate.
So I can just chill. College kids still say that, right?
No one says that, Dad.
Really?
Yeah.
Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply.
Caring for your parents. Learning you have a health condition. These are moments when people realize that where you get your medicine matters. And they look to CVS Pharmacy for advice and ways to save money. Plus, you can earn up to $50 extra rewards each year just for filling prescriptions. So join us at CVS Pharmacy. Terms and conditions apply. Not valid on all prescriptions, including those purchased in Arkansas, New Jersey, or New York. Other state restrictions apply. See cvs.com/pharmacy rewards or the pharmacy for details.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
The celebration of our troops and veterans continues at Joe Cotton Ford. There's $750 bonus cash for all active military and veterans. Plus, next month on July 14th, Please join us for our USO Barbecue for the Troops, raising awareness and funds for local troops and their families. It's always a great event and certainly a great cause. You won't want to miss it. Good food, lots of fun, and great savings. Like the $750 Veterans Bonus Cash offer, plus all the great savings from Joe Cotton Ford. Please join us for a day of celebrating our military and our community on July 14th, and you'll see why we're Chicagoland's best Ford buying experience, and why Ford is America's best-selling brand. And don't forget all the Joe Cotton Ford exclusives that make a Ford from Joe Cotton Ford a better value. It's our promise to you. We'll treat you great and save you money. From 3 generations of our family to yours, you have our word on it. At Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream or at joecottonford.com.
On select vehicles through July 9th. See dealer for details.
Your credit card companies love you. They love it when your cards stay maxed out. They love it when you only make minimum payments. They love it when you struggle. Why? Because they own you. And minimum payments mean maximum profits. Here's great news. National Debt Relief is now offering you free information on how to escape your credit card debt nightmare. If you owe more than $10,000 in credit card debt and are only barely making minimum payments, know this: you may not have to pay it all back. In fact, you may have the right to settle that debt for only a fraction of what you owe. National Debt Relief has helped thousands of people get rid of over $500 million of debt, and they're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Get the information you need for free right now before this offer goes away. Call National Debt Relief now and escape your credit card debt troubles. 800-992-1078. 800-992-1078. 800-992-1078.
Trust, trust, trust. Yes, I said trust 3 times because I want to tell you about a recent AM560 charity benefactor and company that built their business and reputation over 3 decades by being trustworthy. I'm talking about Dependable Construction and founder Joe Barron. Tuck pointing, brick, and roofing is Joe's specialty. Joe started as a laborer, then progressed to an expert tuck pointer and bricklayer. In addition to masonry and roofing, Dependable Construction has grown to become a full-service Angie's List and Better Business Bureau award-winning contractor. For brick, masonry, and roofing on residential, commercial, or industrial projects to any remodeling or construction, you'll deal directly with owner Joe Barron. So call Joe at Dependable Construction today. Mention AM560 and receive a 10% discount on most jobs. Call 773-244-1091. That's 773-244-1091 or visit tuckpointchicago.net. tuckpointchicago.net.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, and, we bemoan Illinois lagging the Midwest in all kinds of categories of economic vitality. Let me flip the script on you a bit, Amy, here.
Okay.
Illinois number 1 in the Midwest, huh? Hey?
4.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Number 1 in the Midwest for residents on food stamps. And growth in food stamp rolls. Number 1 in the Midwest by a wide margin, I'll have you know. Let's see. Ted Dabrowski over at WirePoints has the story. Compared to 2010, food stamp enrollment in Illinois is up 17%. It's up 2% in Iowa. It's down 9% in Wisconsin, down 18% in Missouri, down 19% in Kentucky, down 24% in Indiana. But you want dependence on government, right? That's what we're in the business to do. If Illinois had followed the national trend, which, by the way, food stamp enrollment dropped nationally in March to just over 40 million. That's the lowest food stamp participation since February of 2010. So if you had followed that trend, the national decline over the last 8 years, we would have 280,000 fewer Illinoisans dependent on food stamps today. Instead, we have 1.9 million of our 13 million residents on food stamps. That's been the case for the past 2 years. And you see what's happening with our neighbors. Interestingly, too, among Illinois' neighbors, only Illinois and Kentucky have partial waivers from food stamp federal work requirements. In contrast, Indiana, Iowa, Missouri, and Wisconsin all require able-bodied beneficiaries to meet the federal government's work requirements to receive the food stamps. So those states where they have a work requirement for food stamps,
yeah,
Let's see, they're down 24% on the rolls, down 18%, down 9%. How about that? So we have that going for us. And then Obama land, we scraped together enough money to help, $225 million to help build Obama land, even though that was going to be raised with just private money.
We don't have the money.
No, we do.
When did that?
It's in the budget. It's in the
phony
baloney budget.
Oh, because once it's built, people will come from all over the world to see it.
Yeah, for the rec center, re-education camp.
He's got to have
9-hole miniature golf course.
Yeah, but that's on the roof of the museum because there's going to be green, eco-friendly space up there. But do you think they'll house his birth certificate? Like it'll be in the middle with a light shining on it?
Yeah, like in Raiders of the Lost Ark there. That,
don't touch it.
That
you
talisman.
Get a lookie, but don't touch.
Yeah, I just love the fact that despite what everybody is doing around us, reducing dependency, reducing government spend, reducing the burdens imposed on residents, we're not falling for that trap. We're going to make more people dependent, take more to benefit the transfer beneficiaries, and we're also going to build more monuments to politicians. Right. That's our main thing here is politicians. That's what we do. We do big government and we do big government politicians, and we're full speed ahead.
We're not slowing down.
No, we're not.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to David Harsanyi, senior editor at The Federalist, about what happens depending on what the House does on immigration policy this afternoon.
And later, wishing for more Sergeant Stephen Wheels. We'll explain, but first, into the news we go. Here is Mike Scott.
65 degrees. Flash flood watch is up for portions of north central Illinois and northeast Illinois. Counties of Cook, DuPage, Grundy, Kane, Kendall, Lake, McHenry, and will all be under that watch through mid-morning tomorrow. President Trump says electing more Republicans to Congress is the way to humanely reform the immigration system. Trump rallying a crowd in Duluth, Minnesota last night after signing an executive order yesterday to end the separation of illegal immigrant families at the southern border.
We're signing an executive order. It's about keeping families together while at the same time being sure that we have a very powerful, very strong border and border security.
Meantime, House Speaker Paul Ryan says this morning the House will vote today on a bill to keep immigrant families together, a congressional fix, if you will. Ryan's press spokesman says the measure will keep families who are being prosecuted for illegally crossing the border together until the Department of Homeland Security custody is maintained during court proceedings. The House will also vote on broader immigration measures. One woman is dead, 3 others hurt following a reported stolen vehicle that pulled away from police and then crashed into a taxi on Chicago's near north side. A Chicago teenager who shot and killed 14-year-old Endia Martin in 2014 could be released from juvenile custody as soon as next year. A judge ordering the teen to be held until her 21st birthday. However, she will be eligible for parole as early as next April. Chicago police officer Robert Rialmo says he had no other choice but to shoot Quintonio LeGrier, testifying for a second day yesterday in the wrongful death lawsuit brought by the LeGrier family. The officer said he thought the 19-year-old college student was going to take his head off with a baseball bat. The LeGrier family may be questioned as witnesses today. Illinois confirming its first human case of West Nile. The Department of Public Health yesterday saying a Chicago woman in her 60s first got sick in mid-May last year. The first human case was not confirmed until July 20th. Chicago sports, John Lester's 7 shutout innings. Cubs blanked the Dodgers 4-0 at Wrigley Field. White Sox beaten in Cleveland 12-0 last night. The NBA draft is tonight in Brooklyn. Bulls hanging on to that number 7 pick and number 22 pick overall. The news service of Aruba Tourism. Imagine if your daily commute was from your beach chair right to the crystal blue Caribbean Sea. It's time for an escape to the sunny island of Aruba. Hop a daily nonstop flight from O'Hare to One Happy Island. Plan your Aruba vacation today at Aruba.com. 8:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher believes Trump just got reelected.
On behalf of Chairman Kim and myself, we're both very honored to sign the document. Thank you.
President just got reelected. The President of the United States just took a huge step towards guaranteeing his 2020 reelection with this historic, epic, unprecedented, unheard of summit.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
Hey guys, Ken here from the Business Accelerator podcast, Today's Growth. If you had to choose a vehicle to take you up the rocky side of a mountain, would you choose a Ferrari or a Jeep? The Ferrari's faster, cooler, maybe even sexier, but if you have to get to the top, the Jeep's a better bet. I think we can agree getting to the top is not about the driver, it's the vehicle. Have you noticed people often pick their financial vehicle like they pick their cars? Washington Post shared that only 1 out of 4 people choose a job that uses their college degree. Why? Simple. Something more immediate, maybe cooler, maybe even sexier came along first. Shouldn't the main deciding factors for revenue generation be production or output? Should the cool factor have any weight in choosing someone's income? If getting to the top of the financial mountain is mission critical for you, why not add a few Jeeps to your garage? Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that makes it to the top every time? If so, you have to see the Jeeps lined up at IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
$8:34. We'll have a check of the roads now in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Kennedy inbound delays are major from Montrose to Bird Circle. It is an hour and 5 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 55 minutes from Montrose, 40 in the Express. Outbound 22 minutes to Montrose, 47 to the airport. Edens, 21 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, but outbound it's 40. Eisenhower, an hour and 2 minutes, 390 to downtown. 35 minutes from Manheim. Outbound an hour and 6 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 24 minutes from 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 52 minutes. The Ryan is now 52 minutes, 95 to downtown. Tri-State southbound, bumper to bumper from the Adams Tollway to Bensonville Bridge. Northbound 111th, 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Adams Tollway heavy approaching the Kennedy. Reagan Tollway stop and go from 31 all the way to 355. Veterans Memorial delays are southbound Army Trail to Roosevelt, northbound I-55 to St. Charles, southbound 53 from Rand to Kershaw. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, a cooler day ahead. Some heavy rainstorms, thunder showers expected as well. And again, that flash flood watch and that advisory is in effect until tomorrow morning. Keep our eye on that as we keep our eye on the temps. 66 at O'Hare, 63 along the lakefront. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. President Trump yesterday in signing an executive order capitulating to the pressure foisted upon him by a hysterical media, Democrats, some surrender Republicans, his family members, a collection of badass former first ladies, and current one. He explained that, hey, don't you worry.
I got a plan.
We're going to keep families together, but we're still going to keep it tight on the border.
Thank you very much. We're signing an executive order. I consider to be a very important executive order. It's about keeping families together while at the same time being sure that we have a very powerful, very strong border, and border security will be equal, if not greater, than previously.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that's actually possible. In fact, I'm pretty sure that it's not. But maybe this is a step back for 2 steps forward when it comes to border security, particularly with legislation pending in the House. Despite rather dim prospects, at least the Goodlatte bill would make it out of the Senate.
Right, but he seemed pretty convincing. Excuse me.
If you're really,
like he's
really
upset.
pathetically weak, the country's going to be overrun with millions of people. And if you're strong, then you don't have any heart. That's a tough dilemma.
Well, so is essentially going back to the catch and release trick bag that he is in now with the signing of the executive order. There's a reason when he was before the NFIB, he said, I need Congress to give me a third option, something other than family separation and something other than the revolving door of catch and release because of the law and the Flores settlement agreement in particular. That's why he was imploring Congress to act, but apparently the political pressure forced him to act. And for more on this, we're pleased to be joined by David Harsanyi, senior editor for The Federalist, Federalist.com, author of First Freedom, A Ride Through America's Enduring History with the Gun, From the Revolution to Today. David, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Is it a cave by Trump, the executive order?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think clearly there was a lot of political pressure and internally some family pressure and other things that forced him to sign this, yeah.
And so what the implications of it, because if you don't get congressional action, whether it's the Cruz legislation or something along those lines, then you can talk about a zero-tolerance policy, but do you really have one?
No, you can't. I don't think you can have a zero-tolerance policy without changing the law itself. You know, perhaps there's a temporary fix, but in the end, I mean, you only have a certain amount of judges there. You only have to deal with adjudicating asylum cases. You only have a certain amount of people, time that you can deal with it, and you have all these kids that you're in essence going to have to, you know, and families that you're going to have to release and hope that they show up. And I forget what the number is, but like 38 or 40% of them never show up at a court hearing. So essentially, you're just releasing them. You know, and I think that. You know, I'm critical of the president and the administration because I think if you're going to undertake this sort of policy, you should be better prepared for it, not just physically down at the border, which I just don't think they did a very good job, but you know, to explain it to the American people, explain to them clearly why you need to, you know, what is sort of constricting you from doing what you need to do.
So there's two bills before the House today that they're going to vote on. One includes giving Dreamers eventual path to citizenship. Why aren't the Democrats biting at this? What do they want?
They don't want anything. I mean, I'm pretty liberal on immigration, but Democrats don't want the law followed. They want catch and release. They know they use emotionalism here. And listen, I mean, you know, it works. People don't want families separated. Fine, but what are you going to do? And you know, you make a good point about Chuck Schumer, his hypocrisy. He says legislation's not the answer, but yet he's a co-sponsor of legislation on this issue, and he thinks you can rule by the pen now because Obama did it that way. Why would he want the president that he compares to Hitler to do that? But there are, of course, other problems here, I think, and sort of a dangerous underlying problem is that the left more and more basically calls any kind of border security fascist. I mean, they're creating an environment and creating a debate where anyone who wants to enforce the border legislation or wants to stop people from coming here illegally is now a fascist or a Nazi or whatever. And that's a dangerous thing to do in a country because then you don't have a country without a border. And I know Trump says it and it sounds simplistic, but it's true.
Well, and I'll tell you what, it's one thing for, kind of noted inveterate demagogues like Chuck Schumer and politicians to engage in this or empty-headed Hollywood celebrities. It's another thing when you see a former director of NSA, a former deputy director of national intelligence, a director of the CIA, General Michael Hayden, tweeting out comparisons to concentration camps.
Yeah, he sent out a picture.
I mean, this is why, it's stuff like that has a lot of Americans losing.
There's can and use in the midterms. Though, again, I think these things sort of turn and blow back. You always see this sort of moral panic in the beginning, then there's pushback, and then it sort of evens back to where it was before, and I think that's going to happen.
Right, and all there has to be is another high-profile case of somebody in this country illegally, who's been in this country illegally a number of times, and who commits a violent crime and victimizes somebody, whether it's another person here illegally or an American citizen, another Kate Steinle, and there are myriad cases that are similar in nature. And, talk about the government not being able to keep track of 2,000 children. They can't keep track of tens of thousands of felons that shouldn't be in this country. And that's part of the conversation, too, that the left doesn't want to have, but the American people do.
Yeah, it's a very good point. Now, people send me studies that show that, illegal immigrants have lower crime rates than people are here. Fine. But the very action of coming over here is illegal itself, and no one should be here illegally hurting people in that way. I mean, it's preposterous to even make that argument, and I don't understand it. So, every time an illegal alien somewhere in this country hurts someone, that's a failure of the government of the United States. The Constitution says you need to protect the country itself from out. That's one of its only jobs, actually, is to protect us from outside. So I'm not a huge, border guy or anything like that, but there can't be this kind of chaos. It's just bad for the country.
And what do you think about President Trump administration banning those who are seeking asylum because of domestic violence?
I don't know the legalities of that, but it seems to me that if we keep expanding the reasons that you can come here, that anyone can come here. And what happens is simply because of proximity, we have just a lot of people from one area coming, but I'm not sure why they deserve preference over people elsewhere in the world who suffer just as much and are in just as deep poverty and have just as much domestic violence going on. I don't know. I'm not I don't know the legality of it, but it doesn't sound right to me. It sounds like we're just expanding the definition.
Don't they have, their own countries have domestic violence shelters?
Well, the issue is asylum is about government oppression. It's not about private crimes like
right. If we want to do that, I guess we could talk about Saudi Arabia or something, right? I mean, where you have sort of theocratic, institutionalized violence against women rather than places where people there are bad governments that can't control their own people.
Yeah, and in Iran, for the first time ever, women could go to watch the World Cup. We're making progress, huh?
So they're being punished.
That sounds like torture to me,
Exactly.
actually.
That's more punishment.
You guys are.
Yeah,
why don't you? Oh, you don't like soccer either? Okay.
Soccer.
No. So someone called it communist kickball the other day.
That's about right. Yeah, so the best, the Simpsons commentary on it to decide which is the most powerful country on the planet, Mexico or Portugal. David Harsanyi, senior editor for TheFederalist.com, author of the book First Freedom, A Ride Through America's Enduring History with the Gun from Revolution to Today. David, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you.
And just so you know, Portugal did beat Morocco. Ooh, shocker.
Oh, Clash of the Titans.
Yes. And he joined us on our turnkey .pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Well, it's going to be a string of pretty nasty days here. Rain, heavy, some thunderstorms, some lightning. Watch for some flooding, especially in low-lying areas. That's throughout the day today. Only a high of 68 degrees. We're at 62 right now, so not a big difference. Tonight we're going to have rain, some heavy thunderstorms, again, chance of flooding, a low in the upper 50s. And for tomorrow, Friday, not such a nice day. Occasional rain and drizzle throughout the day. A high only in the mid-60s. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Very busy man with all the rain on the roadways. Here is Jim Talamonte.
It's nasty on the roads. Amy and Kennedy inbound. Delays start at Montrose, but from there to downtown, it is an hour and 20 minutes. An hour 10 from Montrose, 52 minutes in the Express. It's an hour 20 from the airport to downtown. Outbound 50 minutes to O'Hare. The Eden's 21 minutes like Cook to the Junction. Outbound 35. Eisenhower, an hour and 5 minutes. 390 to downtown. Outbound an hour and 9 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 24 minutes. 355 for Lakeshore Drive. It's 52 minutes outbound. The Rhine is 52 minutes. 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound heavy from the Adams Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound 111th, 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Reagan Tollway has a jam. 31 for the Tri-State. Veterans Memorial heavy too. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Well, now I've told you how the MyPillow mattress toppers, 3 unique layers of comfort, evenly supports your body weight, helps relieve pressure points, and keeps your body temperature regulated all night. Not too cold or hot. And don't wait to get yours because in June, you will save 30%. Plus, when you buy that mattress topper at a discount, you'll also get 2 free standard MyPillows. It's an unbelievable offer. 2 standard MyPillows free and 30% off that mattress topper. Or get 1 low price on 2 MyPillows and receive free shipping, but you have to use the promo code Amy. There's a 10-year warranty on pillows and mattress toppers and a 60-day money-back guarantee. So go online or call now for these great deals and others, including 30% off pet beds, which I love. You can throw them in the washer and dryer. I love their sheets. I can't tell the difference between the MyPillow sheets and the 600 thread count Egyptian cotton ones I bought. Actually, the MyPillow sheets are much better. For those sheets and for more, go to MyPillow.com, type Amy in the promo code, or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Gentlemen, June is Men's Health Month. Do you know your numbers? You may know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone and prostate numbers? I know mine. I went to Low T Center. They made it quick and easy. You know your results in about 20 minutes. At Low T Center, most health insurance is accepted. They'll even verify your insurance for you. Low T Center physicians have been exclusively diagnosing and treating men for low testosterone for years. And in honor of Men's Health Month, Low T Center is offering a special testosterone and prostate level test for just $50. Take advantage of this offer, especially if you haven't met your deductible yet, or you have a high copay, or simply don't have insurance. If you've noticed a decline in energy or motivation, you may have low testosterone. Low T makes you feel tired and grumpy, can raise your cholesterol and cause weight gain. Low T Center's experienced medical staff will educate you on the benefits and risks of testosterone replacement. So do what I did. Get your numbers checked. You owe it to yourself. Call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's 312-239-3427. Call 312-239-3427 or go to lowtcenter.com.
Nowadays, there's an app for everything, and here's one that's a must-have if you golf. It's the Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app, and it'll enhance your golf experience. You can book tee times at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There's an